NCRP Productions presents Dishonored by Modiphius Games. We play our first game tonight with Michael running and Ty and Pedro and myself playing. We hope you enjoy the first episode.
And with that, we will start with part 1 of the Oil Trail. Voice of the Voiceless. Metal joints and wooden planks screech as the tired old ship crashes against the waves. And once more, lights flicker, revealing the silhouettes of hundreds of malnourished people. Feet against the cold, wet floor. The stench of sweat, blood, and salt sticks to your skin. You can taste it in the back of your mouths. You can feel it. Feel it in your nose. You've been sitting in this position for what seems like a lifetime. It feels like the slightest movements will break you. An old song comes to mind. It shakes you to wake out of whatever stupor you have, reminding you that sleep is the cousin of death. You look around, and this is what you see. This is what you experience and you feel. You're all nearby each other. Feel free to describe your characters. Let's start with you, Pedro.
Yeah, so, Norton, stocky man. You definitely see, like, tone. He's a bit heavy set, but if you look at it, you think maybe heavy set, but it's muscle. Like, from working on the forge to, well, it's probably deflated a little bit now since I've been in here for a bit and a little malnourished. But you can still see big build. I mean, calluses upon calluses. You can see a lot of scars around my hands and my arms from working with metal as well as working with explosives. I have, burn marks here or there. I have patches on my overgrown beard that aren't growing in from burn marks. I got a nice scar above my right eye, which pretty much no one but me knows is from shrapnel from that one incident I was involved in that landed me here. So a good constant reminder. Let's say green eyes. And that's the only thing I would say that's bright about me at this moment. I'm torn and tattered clothing. Very, very square features.
And if I understood you correctly, when you were talking about us, we are Russian proletariat, basically. We are big, thick, stocky people, as in general. That is common.
That is common.
So are you in any way uncommon to the standard?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a little bit bigger than, because...
Taller, thicker?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Seemed like I was a scrawny kid at first, and I just kept getting bigger. Had a couple growth spurts.
Mm-hmm. Especially from side to side. Anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm thinner than you are, without a doubt. I was definitely wiry for my kind to begin with, but constantly traveling, exploring, has allowed me to be comfortable with not eating and going without for a while. So, brown hair, look like gray eyes, but there always is that smile at the edge. Possibly the only person down here, but I'm presently smiling. See, there is a song in my head, and it's going right now. It's playing pretty well for me right now. Because presently, we've got a nice rocking ship. The rain is making nice patter on the outside, and I know that where we're going, I'm confident we're going to get out. One way or another, we will get to take our arms against the powers that be again.
Can only hope.
Well, I'm probably one of the younger guys here. I'm kind of shorter, to be honest. Probably one of the shortest people on the ship. At first glance, I probably look scrawny just because of how small I am. A closer look will reveal that I look like I've been in a couple of scrapes. And I've got scars on my knuckles. Looked like I've maybe busted my nose once or twice. And I definitely look like I'm no stranger to a fight. I don't think I'm smiling, though I think pretty much any time a guard has come down here, they have found a reason to punch me in the face. Or I've given them a reason, probably more of a ladder. I just won't shut up, and I just constantly am going at them, and I paid for it.
So, bound at the bottom of the ship, you can still feel the creaks and the groans and the shift even underneath you. This is where you're at. Maybe this is not exactly where you expected yourselves to be at the end of all this. You've been on this for quite some time. You can't tell how long it's been. The only light is from the whale oil lamps. And maybe the occasional when they open up the top, if they're feeling kind, to throw some bread. But you're so far in, you see the light, and the bread never reaches you. What's left is mostly just what crumbs has managed been passed down.
It's stale.
So wait a minute, you're saying that you got bread?
As you guys are sitting there, I'm going to have you make a study swiftly test.
Alright, study 4, swiftly 4, so I need an 8 or a below.
I have 1 success.
I did not succeed.
If you get 1s or 20s.
And
you got
would it,
2s? Well, you got...
I think that's 2 successes, if I'm reading correctly.
Yep.
and would it be a first glance?
No, you've been here in the ship for some time, so...
But I've had my eyes closed. If I
I got you. So,
I don't know how I got to 2 successes out of that.
you're too busy where...
I'm contemplating.
Yeah, you're too busy in whatever headspace you're in. It's been a constant, day in, day out. Whatever day in and day out is under here. How do you measure time down here when there is no way to measure time when you just have silhouettes of bodies all around you? People, some half-heartedly trying to sing a song through parched, salted throats, but nothing comes of it. For you two, you catch it just after he does.
Gotcha.
Ty, you see, for a brief moment, a pair of red eyes staring from there. And you haven't seen these eyes down here, but you see these red eyes staring at you for a brief moment. And just as they go to vanish, you catch a glimpse of those eyes just staring at the three of you before it just goes.
Hey, you two catch that?
I saw it. I just didn't realize it was real. You saw it too?
I think.
Norton?
Norton, did you see it? I mean, it's been a bit since I ate, so...
Over that way.
Oh, look.
Pair of red eyes.
I didn't see nothing. I've just been counting.
I'm fairly certain it was real.
Been in here how long?
I'm
You
not
think you
drunk
saw red
this time,
eyes?
so... Maybe.
We haven't been in here long enough yet. See, I'm pretty certain that at this point I am within 3 hours of setting my record for staying in one position. And when I was with the Aborigines off the East Isles, I was able to do this for 11 days. I'm thinking right now, I'm close.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
let's
you.
assume there were red eyes. What of it at this point?
So I'm going to take a movement without uncrossing my legs to look and see, because I'm still setting that record, to look and see if I can see movement where it was. The red eyes, did they blink out, or did they move away?
Well,
Yes, Desmond. I am Desmond.
You didn't necessarily know whether they moved or they blinked out. You know for a fact they just vanished. You don't know if they closed or if they turned.
So for me, I think they just turned.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want to see if you can try to determine whether or not something was there, I'd say that'd be a let's do that as a study. How would you describe your trying to look? Are you trying to be more careful on this particular?
Well, what I'm doing at this point is I am looking from every angle.
It sounds
yeah,
like
careful is probably the closest thing. The idea being I'm going to try and look from every angle, see if it was maybe a glint opposed to.
Do it. Study carefully.
I'm mostly just thinking that
One
it's something to
success.
talk about. All I hear is
As you
endless
look at it,
murmuring
you're
these
just
days.
looking at it. It's like you're not quite sure because you're not sure. That's the worst part about this is like with the constant wave moving and everything like that. For a fact now at this point it's like okay, it wasn't a trick of my mind. But where would it have gone? Especially if it was as big as I thought it was. Nothing there. It would have disturbed the bodies around.
Are we chained somewhere?
Yeah,
All right.
you got your manacles
Are
on.
we chained by hands and chained by feet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can we move? If I were to get up and very slowly walk, can I make that
You'd have
Scrabble
to
walk?
It's one of those ones where you can sort of move, but you'd have to take people with you, and everyone's already tight.
Okay, so
Hey,
everyone's
knock that off, will ya?
Right. Well, no, I'm not doing it. I'm just asking, so
Yeah.
everyone's linked up. So yeah, all I was doing was leaning to see.
Yeah. So
Did it appear? Did the eyes appear somewhere near someone else? Or in the only place under the ship here where there was no one?
no, there's other people around you. And that's the weird part is like you're seeing it's like maybe it was like between some people, but you're not sure.
Gotcha.
That's the thing. It's like it depends on where exactly the eyes were. All you know is they were red and they were bright, and you could see
So,
them in the dark.
I'm
Were
gonna
they
look
looking
around.
at us or they were looking at Jimmy over there?
They weren't looking at
Looking
Jimmy.
at what?
They weren't looking at Jimmy. Nobody ever looks at Jimmy.
Oh.
That's why he's been so successful so far. Is there anything on the ground?
Talk about success. Being down here with you lots.
Shut up, Jimmy!
So if I'm looking around at this point, do I see anything on the ground, a piece of anything that I could throw to that space? I wouldn't think there'd be, because chances are, even if it's metal, I've probably eaten it, but figured I would try.
No,
Okay.
nothing really. Just
Very good.
salt and just basically salt drenched from the water that sometimes leaks in.
Gotcha. So at this point, then, I'm going to stay focused and look. All right, look, I'm going to stay focused on the spot. You guys see if you can move to a better position to get a better angle on it. It was right there.
Right. I'll get into a better position.
I haven't done anything in I don't know how long, so I'll stretch my bones, realize I've been in that position far too long, and I'll just lean where I can and see if I can see anything. Humor this.
I will stay focused.
I'm going to say for the majority of this trip, what I've been doing is just think either at first tried counting to see if I could keep track of time, but one nod off and I completely lost where I was.
Exactly.
So then start thinking schematics. So I'm trying to build stuff in my head as best I can, but now this will give me a distraction from that. I'm stuck on something. So I'll lean and peek.
Time goes by. The rocking of the ship. An old song coming from up high. Maybe not as quite as angelic or haunting, but as you all begin to go over time, it just becomes more and more distant. Even as your best efforts to stay awake, there's only so much time. Even if you try to stay up for days, you don't know how time works down here. You're so tired, so exhausted, so malnourished. And then, in the midst of all, whatever depths, whether you dreamed of watching that spot, or if you did, or just lost consciousness, you all eventually do fall asleep again. There's not much else to do. Sleep, wake, see what's around you, do that. But then there's a thud as you all wake up, and what seems to have dropped from up above, a big, giant, solid hunk of bread.
Close enough that I could leap to it?
You can try to reach out to it. It's going to be a little hard because of the manacles, but if you do a move...
That's why I said leap.
Yeah.
If you do a move forcefully check.
Oh dear, here we go.
Again, first glance. So remind me again how the talent works, because I don't think it's bonus dice.
No. Okay, well, I will read you first glance here real fast. You're not a scholar. Sorry. When you first enter a location you've never seen before and encounter a type of creature you've never seen before, you may make a study swiftly test with a difficulty of 0.
Not even the thing. Not what I'm thinking. Moving on.
So, anyone who wants to try to get the bread, move forcefully is what you have to roll.
Hey, I got 1 success.
I got 2.
So I have a success and a 20.
Okay.
Oof.
So that's a 1 failure? I guess? I don't know.
Not a failure. Catastrophic.
That, you got a success and a failure. Okay.
Well, I mean, if we're stuck to the same chain, you probably negate anything I was trying to do, to be perfectly honest.
Well, you got 2 successes from your 1, so...
So maybe that's exactly what opposite of what I did. Maybe I slid sideways and you were successful.
Yep, I'm going to say that's what it is. So you try to lunge, but it's maybe because of the chains, it's just like, oh shit, I need it. You ironically pulling him closer to be able to grab the bread.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I got 1 success.
Yeah, and you managed to grab at least a clump of it, and it pulls.
I don't
It's-
even believe it.
Yep, and it's a full loaf that you can. But you are nowhere near where the bread usually comes in. In fact, others are sort of like most have not woken up. Some are still like blurry or just more delirious than you because they have not been even gotten the scraps that you've managed to grab.
Is it
Angus, pass it
soft or
around.
is it hard?
It's
Hand it to you.
well, what's the thing? It's not fresh,
Okay.
but it's not overtly stale.
Are these two close to me?
We're right next to you.
You're
right
all
next to me?
you're all pretty much next to each other.
Did I get a big enough? Well, regardless of the piece
As I
get.
said,
Yeah, pass
Angus,
it around.
pass it around to us.
Yeah, so I'll break it up into 3 equal pieces and pass it on.
I got a piece, but I'll definitely hand a piece to you. Start if I can find anyone that's near me that I know hasn't been getting food.
Wait, my friend. Understand. Some people need it more. Because some people will take action before others will. That's us. The 3 of us should finish it off quietly and quickly.
There aren't any children near me, are there? No.
What did it fall through?
That's a good question.
We don't know.
Oh,
Is this a piece of floorboard that
And at this
fell
point, I'm not even
loose?
going to care.
yeah.
Well,
By the way,
am I allowed to ask? I don't know.
by the way, aside from Barry, anyone who made a single success, anyone who made 2 successes on that roll, add 1 momentum to the pool.
I only made 1, yeah.
Perfect.
I'll stick because I'm guessing it's not that big of a piece. I'll just stick it in my mouth and just kind of look up and see if I can see anything in this pitch black.
Well,
abyss.
it's not necessarily pitch black.
Okay.
You can see some small things from the boards above you, but there's no way anything would have dropped through that floor, especially something that big. And maybe if someone chucked it from away,
But the way it landed,
it was just a straight.
I'll do the math in my head. It's not hard math.
It's not hard math. It just doesn't make sense.
Goes to eat bread. Red eyes, magical food. It's a demon. It's gotta be be a demon. Puts bread down.
I'm gonna. If you're not gonna eat, yeah, seriously.
I'm gonna reach out and take the bread. Now I'm gonna tell you.
That's cursed.
I think that taking the bread and eating it is a good thing. Why are you scared of demons? I mean, aren't there good demons? I'm pretty sure I've heard a good demon story.
Have you ever heard? I've never heard of a good demon story.
Trust me.
My mind.
Trust me, eat the bread. There's good demons out there. I'm gonna finish the bread that I was given.
Oh yeah, I ate that. So I'll. Is the rest of it just out of our reach at this point?
No, we have the whole piece.
You have the whole thing.
We have.
Oh, we
that's
have the
why I
whole
said,
thing?
That's why I was
Oh.
saying grab it, split it into 3, and now I'm trying to get you guys to eat it rather than pass it to other people.
I thought I only got like a small.
You got a piece of the big piece. He got it.
Okay.
I
Excellent.
don't trust this, but I guess we gotta eat.
Yeah. So.
My mom always told me never eat magical bread that fell from the sky.
That's very specific. Yeah,
It's happened
I'll
more.
eat.
That is oddly specific.
You're talking about magical bread from the sky? Jimmy shouts out deliriously. Oh, Jimmy, I thought you died.
Dear God, Jimmy.
I'm probably near it. I think I see death almost from here. I keep hearing the whale song.
he sees death. Demons.
Okay, but Jimmy's been saying that for at least 2
Oh, I
weeks.
don't know it. I'm
Or
guessing at
however
least
long.
3 days. At least 3 days at this
I at
point.
least keep my ears to the ground so I can think I can hear the whales under all the shaking.
So I'll eat my share of it.
I love it when we just.
I haven't.
create
We haven't got a
NPCs.
share in how long, really? So
Very long time. And I will certainly eat my third of it. But I'm going to tell you, Angus, I really think you should eat that. I really think you should take it. What I can do is this for you. Norton, can you give him the numbers? Suggest how it came in here. It didn't magically appear here. I'm pretty sure it came out of a hole.
Of course, you care.
Give him the numbers.
yeah, I'll look up, and I'll say it couldn't have magically appeared. Eat the bread. As I'm looking.
Mathematically impossible.
Yeah.
I agree.
1 + 1 = 3 on this one. Just eat it.
If I turn into a toad after this,
Yeah.
I'm giving you both warts.
That sounds fair.
That's fair. That's
I think Norton and I can agree that if you turn into a toad, we'll eat you.
Also,
you
fair
won't.
enough.
You won't have to worry about it.
Nope.
So you eat the
Warts
bread.
would, warts would definitely fill my belly.
As I said, it's not the best bread. It's definitely not fresh.
It's sustenance.
It's sustenance at this point. It's not stale, and maybe there's a little bit of dampness from where it hit on the floor. But otherwise, it's the best thing you've eaten in quite some time. It does at least keep you focused for a little bit more.
This is better than Jimmy's left toe.
What happened? Huh?
Go back to sleep, Jimmy.
I will. Just wondering. I thought it was the rats going after my knife.
It was the rats.
It was the rats.
It was the
Definitely
rats.
the rats.
It was the rats, Jimmy.
All right. As long as it was the rats. I did all this stuff. I'm not saying that I haven't looked at a beefcake like you and thought about eating you, my friend, but
Well, I appreciate that, Jimmy. That it's the rats. Go to sleep.
good. Good. I'll go back to sleep now.
And this is what I'm saying. There just aren't people that are... Not all people are built the same. It would be a nice world if it was. And I believe that
Some
it should
people
be.
are built more succulent.
I think we're going to have to sacrifice Jimmy.
Yeah. I think
Guards
Jimmy,
come down. You can take it, Jimmy.
we need to stop giving Jimmy seawater.
All right, so back to that part where we were discussing eating Jimmy's toes.
I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that again.
Much like Fight Club down here. We don't speak of Cannibal Club.
No, we'll just eat Jimmy.
It's just Jimmy. I mean, it's fine if it's just Jimmy.
Thought I was already starting to become an endearing character.
Much like Thomas Exposition.
It's clay. It's clay all over again.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, yes.
Yes, NPC ever.
Well, time goes by. Maybe another day or two, you're not sure. But eventually, there have been some small holes that you've noticed there in the sides of the ship. More like very miniature, like not quite portcullises, but just because of the way the ship is. And it's where a lot more of the spray has come through.
Don't look
But
through
you
the
begin
holes.
to see the glow of red lights.
So
Peeking
that
through.
makes sense. We just saw a reflection of the red lights through the portholes.
You know.
But it doesn't.
Fine, not a demon.
As I said, not a demon.
And you hear also this like sort of intermittent low buzzing sound. An audible hum in the air.
Now, I've traveled
can
a bit.
almost-
Would it be like hornets or bees, that kind of humming?
No.
Cicadas, crickets?
That wouldn't necessarily be the type. Go ahead and roll. Let's see if you remember this. I'll go with study and let's go with cleverly. So you're trying to
Study cleverly. Can I use wilderness?
Wilderness does not apply in this situation.
No successes.
You're not sure if it's just having been down here for so long or not. It's not clicking. It definitely doesn't sound like something from nature, but it's just not clicking. But also, as you're going through past these intermittent loud buzzes, whenever this buzz happens, the metal plating in the ship starts to vibrate.
And we're as far as we can tell, one of the few people awake at this time.
Well, some people are starting to wake up.
Okay,
now.
from this, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and stuff like that.
We had no idea where we were being taken, right?
You were being taken to Dunwall,
Just to Dunwall.
and probably to one of the prisons,
Okay.
and that's about
Okay,
it.
so it may be the time down here, it may be the sea air, but what do you think if possibly that buzzing will vibrate the metal to the point where it becomes weakened and we can break free?
I'm not much of a math guy, but
Well,
I'm thinking slim to none.
I'll
I
do
was asking Norton.
I'll do that math.
enough.
Do I think this vibration's enough to cause any kind of like nails to pop out a little bit to weaken?
Go ahead and do a study cleverly.
Could I use engineering for this?
Yes.
No successes.
You don't think so?
Okay. I don't think so. As
All
much
right.
as a
All right.
And
It's
you
good
make fun of
thinking.
me for not knowing.
Eventually, the ship comes to a stop, and there's still some rocking, but it's definitely not as much, and you can still hear that.
No more
ambient-
forward momentum.
No more forward
Okay.
momentum. There's some time that passes for a moment, and then there's suddenly the sounds of metal moving on metal as steel gates start to open up. Water falls to the sides of the ship, coming in on the sides of the ship's bow.
those holes you were talking about. There's not one close enough that I could look out. Is there?
Not
No,
from where you are.
Didn't
no.
think so.
There's a group of guards that stand to the sides, they haven't waited for their commander. He sort of gives a look around at all of you who are like kind of seeing light almost for the first time in some ages, trying to get some, and even the ones that have been being eaten don't look well even then. And eventually he sort of, like, the commander gives like a sort of forward motion, and those that are just too weak and just too battered down from the weeks of what's been going on get up and start moving and start pulling everyone else along. Some that don't move quick enough, some of the guards get up and sort of like start yanking the chains along. You're luckily in one of the ones that are getting up and moving along.
Okay. Well, I can tell you I didn't make the record because my legs don't hurt quite as much as I thought they would. But I gotta have been close. Scratch it up to practice.
The light's bad, but that guard's face, ugh.
There's a sudden thwack from like one's like Bobby, like one of them hitting you along the backside of the head with a club. Go ahead and take 1 stress.
Do I get close enough to any of them? Like, do
Like
I
the
get
guard?
close to any of the guards? Yeah.
Yeah, your guys are moving past them.
When I'm looking, do I see anything metal that's small and hanging off? Something that if I maybe stumbled, I might be able to pocket.
Some of them have some medals. Yeah.
Just any kind of piece of metal,
Yeah.
small metal.
Buttons.
Yeah, when I go by, I would like to attempt to feign weakness and try to pocket something.
Okay.
Or palm it, I should say.
I'm going to make that a move carefully.
Move carefully. Okay.
Well, actually, depending on how you're trying to do this. This is pretty clever. You're actually doing something more clever. You're trying to feign.
Yeah.
So I'll do cleverly on you. So move cleverly.
Do you have a focus for it?
No, unfortunately I do not. But I got a 2.
Okay.
So that's a success.
You manage to go there, and he gives you a hard shove, which is enough for you to palm one of his buttons.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shove back, bring my hand up. I'm gonna try and put it in my mouth.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. I'll just say that's part of the move. So. Okay. So with that, but yeah, and 1 or 2 more gives you a thwack too.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and take it 1 stress.
That's understandable.
Yep.
I'm stressed.
Eventually, all of you are taken out to a large sort of patio area out in front of the ship. And as you look around, you're surrounded by solid concrete walls. And you haven't seen walls this high. I mean, not even like outside some of the palaces you've seen, maybe. But even then, this being here and having been led to the ship so long, I feel bigger. They make you feel trapped, like ants down in a deep well. There's a silhouette that observes from the collective from above, peering down. As you guys are sort of murmuring, getting another thing, is the captain of the guard stand. It's like silence, and those that aren't quiet quickly enough.
That was your chance to get a second stress.
You all had your opportunity.
Silence.
I'm not
forget
close
the-
enough to him. I can't get a
My
look at
usual-
his face.
my
but
usual-
I'm sure he's not getting it.
My usual go-to is to stand up when I'm doing like characters and stuff like that. It's a little difficult when I realize with the mics, but that's okay. We'll figure
if you
it
gotta
out.
do it, go for it. But
There, when you're looking, there's the figure. Eventually, you're all still, and this figure starts talking, and you realize, I mean, she's a little lower down from most of the rest of the collective. Definitely not the total height, so you can start to make certain details of her. She stands about 10 meters above you, and she's definitely draped in royal visage, like dark sort of dress. It seems like some kind of silk or satin. Stylish, but it's practical. It's like a practical gray. And as your eyes rise, partially blinded by the sun, you haven't seen her in a while, you see something white moving around her neck, and you realize it's a snake.
Oh my god. That's my neutral contact.
The snake?
get her.
She's looking down at all of you, and periodically as she takes a bite out of an apple that she has in one of her hands, as she starts talking down to you. Look alive, inmates. This is the first day of the rest of your lives. Seize it. You survived your own messy insurrection. It proves to me that there's still some value to your existence. This place is designed to press that value out of you. Now, don't kid yourselves. The only chance to escape you'll find here ends up with your brains splattered over the floor. Don't give your kinfolk more work than what they already have. The Morley Insurrection was something that took 26 years to finally crush. But crush we did. With naval forces, with the privateers. It only took the appropriate amount of bait for all of you to be desperate enough to get for it. A chance to grab one of our best warships. Little did you realize that had been gone out of commission 5 years before.
Ah, that was the problem.
She goes over other situations, other moments in which there was that thing. They even bring up the thing, the one that finally did you in, the thing that finally galvanized. First, it was a proactive war, but when you did that bombing on the Chilres Hospital, that finally galvanized the people of Dunwall to finally take action. And so we hunted all of you down for that, for the mothers, for the children.
Well, that's positive. It's good to be recognized for something.
Does it look like she notices me, like who I am? No.
She's just looking her nose down at all of you. I will need you all to roll me Survive Boldly. You need to get 2 successes. You can... sorry. I was going to say possibly spend momentum to add extra dice if you wanted to, but you've already rolled.
We have one momentum.
How many successes did anyone get?
I got... Do we need 2 collectively?
You need... Each of you needs to get 2.
Okay. Ugh. I got none.
We need 2.
You need 2.
What'd you get, Barry?
I got 1.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 3 chaos for 2 additional dice.
You can use... Okay, I will accept that. However, normally you have to declare if you're going to be buying more dice before you roll.
Before I roll.
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
normally, if anyone else wants to do the same thing, you're welcome to. You can even spend that momentum to add 1 die if you want to. You got 2 now?
Mm-hmm.
Can I buy 2 dice? I'll give you
3 more.
Yeah.
You want to spend that momentum to actually have 3?
Sure.
There you go.
Okay.
So he gets 3 and toss that back in the pot.
Okay. There's
So
1,
much
2.
But
Excellent.
we'll roll an extra one because we can get 1 momentum back.
3.
So we get 1 momentum back.
Awesome. Okay.
And did you want to buy, or are you just going to take
I'm just going to accept whatever it is I'm getting.
Whatever fate has been
So
dealt.
you 2 are... Okay. For you 2... Maybe it's like, despite the fact this is this whole thing, it's like, deep down inside, there's this thing. It's like, you know what? Despite what this freaking person is trying to say to me, I'm not going to let it break me. This is nothing impossible. I blew up a fucking hospital.
I'll do it again if I can. Well, maybe not again, but
yeah.
I'd do it again.
Like,
Next time I actually thought about it and figured it out and made sure.
It's not that high. I mean, sure, the walls are completely sheer and stuff, but it's not that high. I could climb up there. I could slit her throat, whatever.
I put them on there. This wall's coming down.
In all your minds, as far as you know, rebellion, this is what's going to be. It's like, we can rebel. We can rise up from this. For you, on the other hand...
It's not really that worth it.
It's more this sort of idea that, this is worse than I thought it was going to be. This is not what I thought it was going to be like.
Those walls are taller than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah. You gain the Grim Prospects truth.
Ooh.
And does that go under notes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I think we better just say our prayers.
Yep. And eventually, after she's done railing off the things, you're all dragged away. You're all taken to a shared cell. And the cell, oddly enough, seems to almost mimic the style of the patio. It's tall walls going nearly like several hundred feet up.
Well, that seems unnecessary.
And it's completely open. So any rainfall that comes through, it's just going to fall on you guys as you're taken into your cells, locked away. There's some small grates, but they're only about, yay big. You wouldn't be able to slide through them and everything like that. But it's here.
Well,
you're in your new homes.
I guess we get to rot together, guys.
I don't know. And guards are gone.
For the moment, you don't know what the patrols are going to be like.
Yeah,
On the plus side, I want to let you guys notice I got the most polished bars. I'm pretty happy about that.
We're sharing the same cell.
But they're closer to me.
And I'm gonna spit it out and see what I got.
Yeah, it's a little small little metal button.
It ain't much, but it's something.
Would have been better if you'd got something with a spike or a lip on it.
Yeah, the right working, anything can be made into. This can be made into a lot of things.
Lockpick.
I think I could do that with enough time.
Ding, ding.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Well, that is still going to take some time.
Oh, I
especially with no tools to speak of.
Let me just chew on it for a bit.
We could dig our way out of here with that there button.
Wouldn't it just be easier to use your hands?
No.
I got the button. I have to use it. Principle. How am I going to turn this into a bomb? That's my question.
We are moving on to the next scene, so we'll have to take that
No.
momentum.
That's all we had in this world, Michael.
It's true.
Terrible. We lost momentum.
You all gained the Grimm's prospects.
I had to say something. I'm sorry, guys. Double grin prospect for you.
Woo! Except with less enthusiasm. Woo. Yay. We're all gonna die.
Life is good. Life is
So we
great.
lose momentum, but chaos never leaves.
So,
Yeah.
the same menacing concrete walls that made an appearance earlier tower over your heads, and the sail ceiling being 20 meters above. Oh, sorry, only 20 meters. Still,
That's
pretty
more realistic.
Oh,
So
Well,
she was
only 20
floating in the air.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, yeah.
makes me a little more concerned.
Yeah.
it's okay. 60 feet.
She was
telling
10, she
you,
was 10 meters
Still,
above them.
that's 60 feet is still
Yeah.
pretty high with nothing and
But
sheer
she was
fucking
floating 10
walls.
meters above that.
Yeah, no,
That's what-
she was at 10 meters. Not
Oh, she was at 10 meters. Okay.
Yeah. A circular hole allows you to see a small chunk of sky, and with the exception of the solid steel bars in front of you, the concrete they're surrounded by has been treated to prevent people from chiseling the surface, which you immediately find by trying to use the.
However,
testing the button.
No
the
use.
bars.
The bars.
We could saw through the bars with that there button.
Very low.
Despite the bread, you're still fairly weak.
Yeah.
So the first 10 days,
Oof.
you're in the cell, in
10
which you're fed.
days later.
In which you're fed basically a regular diet, and this is in the way to get your strength back up.
Yep, this is what I call Atkins.
I will. Now, are the bars the same? Like, if I try to pay attention for the first couple days, like the guard patrols, and then try to like shave it on the bars a little bit to make an edge.
Yeah. Go ahead, and I'm gonna do, since I'm sure you're doing this.
do.
Do a study. Do a study carefully,
Okay.
since you're probably trying not to be caught.
Engineering. Oh wait, metallurgy.
Metallurgy works.
Okay, study.
May I suggest would it possibly be tinker carefully? I'm
You know,
throwing it out there.
Tinker carefully sounds better.
All right.
You still messing around with that button?
I got one. One success.
One success. So takes some
Did you
time.
get your focus?
metallurgy. No, she.
Yeah. So I have.
Didn't get it low enough?
No, I did not.
Okay,
No.
that's why I was asking.
Just so it takes you a few days. Eventually, you're getting a sharper edge
He
on
has
it.
10.
Yeah, you have some time, and but it's periodic. It takes you basically the full 10 days to finally get to a point you're wanting to, because they're just.
Yeah.
It's almost, well, maybe not constant, but the timing is still like.
Yeah.
And trying to make sure no one tries to notice what you're doing. In fact, you have to try to make sure that they're not noticing if you're like whittling the bars. Mm-hmm. But eventually, you get a sharp enough edge to it.
Congratulations.
Sharp button. Sure.
So, anything you wish to go over aside from just the sharpening buttons for the next 10 days?
Well, what do they have us do? Have we sat here the 10 days?
You're basically fed, and you're just kept in that cell for the 10 days.
They're getting us ready for whatever
Can I
we're
have a
going to be
tennis
doing.
ball?
So I intend to be stringy meat. I'm going to start doing push-ups.
Okay. Cool.
If they're going to eat me, it's going to be...
Did somebody say you were gonna be? Hey guys, it's Jimmy.
Oh shoot, it's Jimmy.
I'm like three cells down from you. How are you doing?
I thought you died.
No,
Jimmy.
no, it's just the rats are still after my toes.
Yeah, the rats. Yep.
Definitely the rats.
Those darn rats. They're everywhere. I'm really glad Jimmy made it.
Yeah. Jimmy's a good guy. I started doing drinks at my place.
He grew on me.
You know,
And of course, he now fits the name Jimmy Two Toes.
Jimmy. That's why we did it.
Well, it never really made sense before.
No, and now it makes perfect sense.
That's his truth.
Two toes.
There's one thing I know in this world.
Jimmy Two Toes
Jimmy Two-
is the truth.
Oh, man.
okay.
If we've sat here, the only things that I could envision that my character would do would be to study the movement of the guards, try and see if I can get some kind of a pattern to it, and then if anyone is coming out, like for example the female commandant, if anyone is coming out, are they coming out on any kind of a regular pattern either? Like, is the sun always right there when they come out, or do they come out, if it's not like that, do they come out for the count of 10 or the count of 50 or the count of 100? Patterns.
I'm just looking for
Go
things.
ahead
useful
and
about him.
do a study swiftly.
Just making a mental list of
That's 2
sick
successes.
burns.
2 successes.
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much
You only need one,
gimpy.
so I'll add momentum.
We have momentum, gentlemen.
So,
That guy's
It's,
got a big nose.
keeping the timing, trying to think, there's no clocks or anything
Sure.
in here.
That's
So
what I
it's
was
a
saying,
little-
the sun.
Yeah, so you think you have it down. They're usually coming through around like every half hour.
Okay.
Give or take. I mean, they're pretty clockwork. You haven't been able. You're recognizing some of the faces, so you know which ones are on what shifts.
Gotcha.
But even then, you're not quite sure if like the amount you've definitely seen at least like maybe 16 or so
Clip
usually
lip,
for the
red
last
beard.
10 days. So you're
Snorts a
pretty
lot.
certain these are the ones are like you know which ones are the regulars, which ones are only like maybe quote unquote the weekend shift or something like that. But you're getting the figuring out. It's like okay, these are the guys on the usual beat. And you kind of have an idea of what their shifts are. But even then, it's like you're certain there's probably more than just 16.
Sure.
But even then, this is just the ones that seem to go through their rotation throughout the week. Anything else any of you wants to do for the next 10 days?
No.
So
I
you said
mean,
we're being fed a diet. Are we portioned? Is there a central trough?
It's being portioned. The meals are being brought to your cells, deposited, slid in, and that's about it's being portioned out. There's not like a trough or anything like that.
Okay.
trying to basically I'm just trying to think of things I can do with this pin. I mean, the pin's my focus right now. I don't have anything else, and like it looks like are you telling us what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he's checking guards. He's a little demoralized, but I don't blame him.
Swing low.
How we talked him into being the one to chop the toes off, I don't know.
Jimmy's fine. No.
As a matter of fact, you've been having trouble sleeping. A lot of trouble
Makes sense.
sleeping with this.
I normally have trouble sleeping.
Go ahead and roll a study quietly. Check.
That sucks.
No, thank you. I'm good.
That's 2 failures or whatever.
Yep. You just cannot rest well. It's just everything's uncomfortable, and the walls just feel like they're crushing in on you. It's a lot.
How big is the cell? Just out of curiosity.
The cell itself, probably about the size of this table. Actually, it's not a big.
Each single. We're each in our own single cell.
Nope, you are all put together in a shared cell.
So
you
3
all
of us
three
are
of
in
you
this
are in this.
one cell.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's
This
pretty tight.
sucks.
Yeah. This sucks.
Norton, move your foot.
So, unless there's anything else, I'll wait for Pedro to get back before we continue here. But if there's nothing else really that goes on within the next 10 days, we'll go to day 11. I will wait.
I don't even really think there'd be anything that my character could do, other than probably the guards probably periodically open the cage and beat me.
the cell. It's been 10 days. We just found out the cell is the size of this table, and all three of us are sharing it.
Just give me what I want. Oh my, that's too cramped.
All right.
So
I need to use the poop corner, guys.
Alright, everyone shift.
All right, so what I'm going to say is I think this would be the way we do it. The poop corner is actually out the bars. You aim and shoot. That corner there.
It's probably the best.
Everyone else gets their own corner. That's not the poop corner.
Fair enough. It's really good. There's only 3 of us.
Hey guys, guess who I'm getting moved to?
Jimmy!
The rats are eating good tonight, boys.
oh boy.
You can get a good pump on with a little extra protein.
All right.
Guards just come by. Where did the other prisoner go?
I don't know.
What other prisoner?
Sorry,
That's what I have the metal thing
only
for.
been the 3 of us here.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Eventually, day 11, and you're finally taken out to the patio. There's several guards around the patio at this point, but all the prisoners here are milling about. There's weights. There's a lot more space for you to be able to move, and especially after being in such cramped conditions.
All right.
Probably just glad to be away from each other for
You
just
guys
a second.
over there, away from me. Give me like 10 minutes at least.
And
Does the yard have a poop corner?
you just, the guards have a... No. So the guards are, there are plenty of guards around, so if there was something, There's most of the prisoners you definitely recognize. Some of them are like people that were not on the ship, but some of them you recognize from the rebellion. You see one and you're like, wait. At least all of you recognize. Wait, that's Lars Nelgimar. He was a captain of a Morley ship that lost all of its crew during the war.
And he's a guard now?
No, he's not a guard, but he's one of the prisoners.
He's one
here.
of the prisoners.
He was
Captain
not.
Lars.
He was not on your ship when you got here. He definitely looks like he's been here for a little bit, but he's definitely he's definitely seems to he's work out. He's not working out, but he's taking a quiet seat, and he just seems to be watching.
Oh, you were serious about the weights?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's weights. There's stuff you can work, do your workouts and stuff like that. Probably a little better than in that cramped cell. Let me tell you.
Obviously.
Have I ever had interactions with him since I've been in the war for some time?
Well, you have a neutral contact.
Hey. I'll take him.
Lars, and I'll spell Nelgimar for you. N-J-E-L-M-A-R.
Yelmar.
Yelmar, okay.
So I'll kind of, just look around. If no guards or anybody's paying attention to me, I mean, like, specifically, I'll just walk over to him.
All right, I'll get to that
Yeah.
interaction in a moment. I need you to do me a favor and roll me a study swiftly.
Yeah, and you're choosing all the skills I just don't really have.
This is a neat way of doing it.
I think that's one success at least.
I think it has to be.
Yeah, I mean, at minimum you have an 8.
Yes. Okay.
So-
I have a single success.
So you're looking around, and maybe just because of the grim prospects, which is the reason why I let you roll here, is you're noticing the negative side of things right now, my good friend, is you're noticing, you're recognizing faces, okay. You're looking around, and you're like, there's some people missing. Some people from your ship that should have been here. One in particular, one who wasn't too far away from you, a man by the name of Alar Hansen. You remember him coming out on the patio, but he wasn't doing too well. The fact that he lived while being in that cramped condition is remarkable. But he had a broken leg, and they basically had to drag him out.
That's why we went after Jimmy. We took pity on him.
And
But
he liked margaritas on the rocks.
You do remember serving him.
He's
But-
a good man.
But after the night on the patio, after having the distrain, then you all are separating your cells. You don't see him. He's not out here.
That's too bad. I really liked him.
For you, it's not necessarily that there's anyone you necessarily recognize specifically out here, unless there's someone you want to say you create that happens to be a contact. But there is one figure, aside from Lars Nelmar, that you see wandering around, that's standing around. There's a woman who, while definitely not one of the guards, she's definitely a prisoner. She seems to walk with a little more authority in as far as the inmates are concerned. You can just get that sort of air from her that, while may seem like an oxymoron that someone in charge while being an inmate, this is definitely someone who seems to be a little more in charge of some aspect inside the prison ecosystem. So
Should I cue up Marvin Gaye again?
No, you can if you want, but yeah, no, she's like most of you, is a Morlarian, thicker woman. Definitely seems to have like almost not necessarily a no nonsense sort of attitude about her, but definitely she seems to be a lot more like keeping eyes on things. She talks to some people very specifically, but she seems to be watching a lot of the new people coming through, and trying to get like a gauge on people. But yeah, she definitely stands out. Aside from that, we'll go to your interaction here. So Lars is there, and he's just quiet. He's got his hands in his fist, and he's sort of like looking around, keeping his eye out on everything. He sees you. He looks at you for a moment. And I'm sorry, what's your character? Norton? Norton. Like, Norton? Huh. Norton, is that you?
It's good to see you, Lars. It's been some time, huh?
It has been. Come. Sit a while.
I'll go and sit down. I definitely make a noise sitting down. I'm at that age.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
how long you been in here, Lars? Can you tell?
Well, the scratches on the walls or so anything to say about it. It's been about 3 years.
Good God.
Yeah, I had a fun little speech about that little try to take over about the on the ship. That was my bad. I'm the one who tried to steal that prize. She enjoys talking about that every time the new recruits come in.
Well, not all of our plans went like we thought, did they, Lars?
No. Here we are now.
It'd be nicer if we didn't have to blame ourselves.
No. Every single one of them. A captain's supposed to go down with their ship, right? How unlucky Assad of me to be the one captain where everyone save the captain goes down with the ship. Have to live with that. We have to find ways to live with it. I decided to not really take much of a stand in standing up as in charge of things. Not after I make some atonement for those lives that I lost as me. Leave that to Clarissa. He says he sort of gives like a head tilt towards the woman I was describing. That Harry knows. It's like she's she's the one who's got most of her eye on most of what's going on around here. I'll just help her out from time to time.
There. Go ahead.
Well, enjoy at least your last day of relaxation, because after today it's going to be nothing but work.
That's what I thought they were fattening us up back up again for.
You have no idea about how fat things are going to get.
Well, probably have to go speak with her then.
You'll speak with her soon enough. She likes to take the new people under her wing for what happens next. And we'll get to what happens next in just a moment. I'm going to ask if there's anything either of you two want to do before we move on to the next part of this scene.
No, I'm good. I'm just basically watching everything that's going on while gently moving around on the weights.
Just the last thing that I do for Lars is I hold out my hand. You know, a fellow higher up, I guess.
Basically, you do get a chat with some of the new older people who've been here for a while. It's one thing if it's another. Stranger danger. We're gonna have to test Barry's mic here before we continue, just to make sure.
Well, that was a catastrophic failure.
Ha You know what? I'm giving you a void point for that one.
All right. Am I still going?
Here, wait, hold on.
Mine's still working? Because I'm locked in place.
Hold up.
Am I still not? Okay.
Oh wait, no, it's there was some spikes, and I'm trying to tell if it was.
Cats will be cats.
On never meant to be.
There. All right. I think we got it.
All right, testing mic. Hello.
For those of you that are curious, a cat just jumped on a table and knocked several things down.
Is it not working?
I don't think so. Oh wait, turned off. Okay, now that I figured out that the mic was off, it is working.
All right.
It's amazing. The cats.
Rather embarrassing.
Yep.
And you didn't land on
I'm
your speed.
serious about the void point. Go ahead and put an additional void point.
It's pretty perfect if you're gonna get a void point.
Yep. So. And I will add 3 more to the chaos pool thanks to the cat. Just kidding. I won't do that.
New
Maybe next time.
Add
New
to
house
your
rule.
already very large pile.
You know, I mean, you think that I'm not saving this all for a beautiful, beautiful situation.
Good Lord, that was terrible.
Anyway,
At
all
least
right.
it happened on the
He'll
dot.
He'll stay away for
Well, I mean,
a while now.
Think
He's
about
embarrassed.
it as a small break here. Anyway, I mean, think about it. You're probably going to be doing a lot of editing parts anyway. So.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. I'm
Yeah.
just cracking up that it happened. The way he just kind of whoa.
Yeah. Oh, stranger danger. I'm so sorry. That's Phoenix over there.
That's
thought that was-
Phoenix. No, stranger ran into the bedroom. He's embarrassed.
Yeah, no wonder.
Hurt my pride.
So, you're given several hours to be here, and as you're talking with him, he basically explains that you're going to be expected to work. They're basically going to feed you. They'll feed you. They'll give you some opportunity to exercise and stuff like that. But they're going to basically put you to work as soon as you'll be expected to work. That's the reason you were fed and given a chance to exercise. After a few hours, you're all ordered to stand in a line. Everyone lines up.
Okay.
And then you are walked from the patio into the yard. In the yard, of course, still that, high, tall walls, 20 meters high, so on and so forth. And as you march into the hallway, you've been smelling bits of the sea and stuff like that, even inside here. You're now hit with the pungent smell of viscera, leaking gas, and washing soap. It's a horrible mix of it. And it's not just any sort of viscera, and you're all sort of used to this. I mean, as you're all in the aisles, you can't get away from it. You recognize it as whale.
Like a rendering station?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Something along those lines. Other inmates are running up and down, cleaning the yard, which is much longer in comparison to the exercise patio. And once you're formed up in a line, and you the new ones, are lined up next to Clarissa, who's been identified. The rest are there, and everyone else seems to be waiting expectantly for what's about to happen. Then there's a loud buzz. And all the inmates that were trying to clean up the area suddenly stop and basically scatter to like all the corners. And then the sun gets blocked out. As you look up and you see from this giant crane, or sets of cranes and ropes and stuff, is a whale being lowered down into the middle of this place. And it's set down. Eventually the straps are... It's dead. It's a dead whale, of course. They're not just bringing a live whale in here.
Oh, that would be inhumane.
Well, I mean, we're not going to go into the whaling industry in general here, but that's another story.
Okay.
Soon as the whale's there, all the experienced inmates immediately go to action. There's tools that are being like provided to them and stuff like that, and they start carving into this thing. They start like splitting it apart. They're getting some of the blubber, and they're starting to like blow it onto trays and stuff, which are being taken out and stuff. Organs are being harvested. Everything you're seeing in here is just they're taking this thing apart from every piece and part of this massive whale. Think like twice as large as a sperm whale.
Jeez.
They're big.
Well, I don't know anything about taking apart a whale. But I can lift heavy things.
Well, good. Lots of parts of the whale are heavy. And that's Clarissa speaking at that point. And you're basically watching what's going on. And she's and Clarissa starts ordering some of the other inmates around, like, you know, and like making sure you get this bit and stuff like that. It's like, hey, what you doing down there? Don't mess around with that, start stuff like that. But otherwise, she just tells you, today you're just going to observe. You get to ask questions, and you can ask me questions. Next, tomorrow you're expected to work. So I suggest you ask what questions are pertinent now, and get an idea of what aspects of this job are going to be best suited for you.
I mean, knowing this is just what I have to do, and might as well do it right and safe, I'll just ask, what tool, how do you decide who gets what tools? Do we get a section? Are we just carving into this thing and putting parts in one spot? Do we need to be careful of anything? Just basically...
Is there a method to the carving, or are people just hacking away?
Oh, there's a method to the carving. So she does explain a few of those questions and stuff like that. She's like,
the questions will cost a momentum.
It's like everyone gets most people are, once you discover what a specialty is, they're put in there. Sometimes there's just too many people who are specialists, and you have to put them into other parts, and then just rotate them through. She keeps a good eye out for who's talented in what areas and what's capable of doing certain aspects of the job. As she's mentioning, it's like, things are like, it's like, what do we do? And there's one part you go about, well, is there anything we have to be careful about? And she goes, yes, there is something you have to be very careful about. And that's why most of them are being very careful, she says, as she points out to a particular part where they're cutting into that area. Whale bladders.
Yes.
Whale bladders tend to fill with gases after death, and they can explode so violently. We have to take them out carefully and store them so the gas escapes over time. She sort of gives a look at you for a moment. Mm-hmm. She seems to consider something for a moment before she turns back to the job. And, there's and you see they actually start, and they're being very careful with this whale bladder, which is
Oh, all right. We're not going to be able to sneak it out in the pocket.
no.
Side note, is that an actual thing?
Yeah, whale bladders. That how they.
I'm not doubting you. I'm saying
part of the. I mean, aside from whale detonations, because sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes those detonations go really, really wrong because there's so much of those gases built up inside them. So even if it's just a small explosion that should have been just enough to, it goes everywhere. It's pretty bad.
Crazy.
And especially with how big this thing is.
Remember, these are not whales. These are Leviathan.
I don't think I'll ever use that information in my life, but it's good to know. I feel better knowing.
I think you're going to find that you'll be using that information for this game.
Yeah, but
every gaming adventure now. Why are we at a whaling station? Boom! That's why.
Go carve into that.
post-apocalypse game. Yep, with a
Yep.
whaling station. Go.
Get over there, right there.
But yeah, and there's definitely parts where they're like putting tubes into certain parts of it, and they definitely seem to be draining like most of the oil and stuff out of that. And the oil that comes out, and which is something that you're used to, it comes out sort of like a milky sort of white, almost slightly blue. You know when it's been activated, when it's like put into one of like the power station and stuff, and the energy starts to like course from it. It turns a brilliant like luminescent blue. But even as it's more milky white, you can still see the tinges of it as it's being fed into the system. As far as anything else is concerned, any other questions any of you have as the things this is going on?
What are they using to cut?
The tools they're using, it's like small knives. They check everyone, and she tells us like they checked. They will pat you down. They basically they'll strip you down if they have to, if they suspect that you possibly took anything out of these things. But basically, there's the cutting tools are basically they're double, triple checked before they make sure they know the exact number of everything they hand out. They know the exact number of everything they need to get back.
Is this our only job?
Yes.
Okay.
Every day.
How many do we get through a day?
Just the one. So that it takes you hours to just get through one.
Okay. Where do they take the bladders?
And that's about that question time that sorry, there's actually a point that actually talks about that. Why is this thing so there's the man who's like, as they were moving the bladder, they got it on the cart, and he starts like, the man is like, dragging it along, pulling it along, and he gets up to her and goes, and she actually separates from you for the moment to talk to him. Go ahead.
Listen intently.
Yep, study swiftly, please. All of you.
3.
Two successes.
Is this an engineering or explosive type question, or natural philosophy?
To listen?
No, I mean no. What they're talking about, or is it the? Wait, sorry.
Is you're trying to listen.
We're trying to listen. Oh, okay, never mind. I got it.
2 successes with a 1.
Nothing. Okay,
That's a negative, Captain.
So you got a 1, and that's 2 successes. Okay, and you got one success.
One success.
So I'm gonna add a momentum.
All right, I was going to ask. Wonderful.
So you hear the conversation. The inmate goes, "Where do you want it?" She goes, "As planned." Goes to the cold room. That hasn't changed. Got it. And they drag it off.
Nice. Okay.
Yep. So eventually she gets back and
I give you a knowing wink that you also made the roll. I don't give you one of those.
Look over.
Your prospects aren't looking good.
Hey, look, I'm here to get punched and throw punches. That's like my one thing I'm good at.
Ever since that speech, he just hasn't been the same.
You want me to insult a guard? Fine. You want me to punch a guard? Fine. You want me to get punched by a guard? I can probably do that too.
Anything else anyone wants to ask?
I think that's about it for my
I mean, other than just like
I pretty much assume I'm just going to be doing all the
Asking-
physical labor.
tips and tricks about cutting properly and stuff like that. I mean, just learning everything I can.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
I mean, I used to pull kegs up from my cellar, so I can...
Wait. Let me see here.
As things go on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you all, as you're mentioning that you're listening and you're asking questions and you guys are observing, it takes about 6 hours here. I'm gonna have you guys do me a study carefully roll. Hey,
I got one.
I have 1 success.
1 success.
Oh. Sorry, I realized.
So you have 1, you got 1.
I got 2.
Okay. And for the momentum pool. You're gonna need it. So,
There's nothing mischievous about that statement whatsoever.
So, during the hours, as you know, she's moving around from time to time before she comes back and stuff. You almost swear you hear, like, she's definitely, you two especially started picking up on this. You did get your success, so you were starting to pick up on the fact. It sounds like, as things are going on, you're going like, wait a minute. It sounds like, and they're being very careful that the guards aren't there, but the guards are basically watching to make sure people are doing their jobs and stuff like that, but they're not really paying too much consideration. What chit-chat's happening? Pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. So what I would do is I would watch. If a guard starts heading their way, I will do something to get the guard looking our direction and not continuing towards her.
I will give you an opportunity for that. Just real fast. But you are starting to pick up from what conversations. All of you are starting to piece it together. Some getting maybe a little faster than others. It sounds like Clarissa definitely has a plan for escape, and seems to be working with everyone. Most of the people who've been here a while, it doesn't seem like it's everyone. That you can definitely tell with your two successes. It's definitely not everyone. Mm-hmm. There's only certain people that she seems.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. But you definitely see some of the guards coming in, and it seems to be just in a moment that seems to be just inopportune. How do you wish to distract him?
You know what? I'm gonna actually step away from her and wander towards the whale section and go, well, what do you think about this? Let me try one of those and get in the way of one. Let me try one of those blades there. What if you were to cut like this? And I am going to purposefully not do it right.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to have you, boldly is definitely going to be the style here. Let's go with, I'll go with talk because you're definitely...
My thinking as well. That's a success.
All right, perfect. So you managed to, for sure... you managed to for sure get them to be like the guard is like your manager's like pull you away from there. It's like, you freaking idiot, go back. You're not doing this.
Oh, hold on, I think I got it figured out.
What is she doing during this?
Well, she was definitely talking to someone. Okay. Now she's caught attention of this and and it's one of those moments. Actually, do me a study swiftly. I'm going to.
She realizes
one
that
success.
I figured it out.
I'm going to add something to her. How many did you get?
I got one success.
She got one. She's defender, so you see through it. She definitely seems to have gotten was caught off guard. That was close. His distraction was what saved whatever possibly could have been an unfortunate part of whatever conversation she was happening. But she manages to. But she does go over and she grabs you and she pulls you away. It's like, you'll be working tomorrow. Oh, but there's she doesn't look it. She doesn't
I'll
look
play
it.
it up.
She's just like she doesn't look it. But there's a moment where it's like as far as she knows, you're not sure. She's not showing anything.
I can't tell if she thinks I'm an idiot or I figured it out.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah, as of right now. But there we are.
When she gets close enough to me that I can kind of just like talk forward and have her listen.
That's when she gets me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Clarissa, right?
Yeah, Clarissa.
Clarissa. Do you know who I am? I'm just gonna say it. I mean, like, or do you know who I am? Do you know what I've done?
He's the Septa Bomber.
She looks at you and she goes, I think so.
Then you should know. Whatever it is you're planning, keep me informed.
She seems to think about it for a moment, but before she gets a chance to respond, that's when another buzz sound happens and everyone's brought to line up.
Perfect. I was gonna say
the whale
Buzz is in the shaking the metal buzz?
Buzz.
Not the thing we heard on the ship.
Not quite the same,
Okay.
but similar. Eventually you and the other inmates are all formed up to move on to the next patio. The platform moves too, and the engines under the platform holding the whale practically scream under the weight of even this colossal creature that has been being carved and drained of all this stuff. There's still, like, bones, meat, skin, and stuff like that. All the parts that haven't been used for this are still on this thing as it's just... Once it's moved into position as you guys are standing on your platform, about 50 guards make their way to the platforms above, as though, like, watching, like, all of you and seeing all this. An officer points out 2 inmates, and seems to be at random in the line, and commands them to go inside the belly of the beast to poke around and make sure it's safe to enter.
This does not look good.
So they go in. There's a few minutes go by. And eventually they come out and they say it's fine. And the officer himself goes in, examines the interior for about 30 seconds. Then he gets out. All right. Wash up and return to your cells. And you're all taken away to where you're basically
that's
showered.
Excellent. It's bath time. Haven't had one of those for 10 days.
You're basically hosed. And
I'm a maniac. This just took a turn.
And we're moving on to the next scene.
No,
Our
that's
momentum. I should have spent it on what? I don't know.
Nighttime's there, and now you're back in your cell. You still have your button. Now, after the event of the days, you've got some talking to do. Now you get a chance to talk to amongst yourselves for what's going on.
What do you think's going on?
Yeah, let me in when you guys get a chance. Whatever the heck you're doing.
She's planning something.
I saw that explosion, or the talk of the explosion. I'm figuring she's going to blow something up.
She's hiding, or she is storing those bladders in the
Well,
freezer.
I'm sure they are as well.
But
I'm sure they're storing them. I'm sure she's storing it for a reason.
But yeah, the way she said it, sounds like either she's convinced them that's the best way, or she's diverting some. The point is, she's planning something.
Now, didn't she say that they leave them in spaces so they can basically degas, so they don't blow?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a limited amount of time. And depending on how long it takes them to degas, there can't be many of them there unless she has a way to maintain the gas inside.
The cold do that.
So our
Hey,
next
you
step.
big brains want to let me know in normal speak what the heck you just said?
And I'll look, make sure no guards are coming around.
You're good.
She's saving the bladders for some kind of
Maybe to blow the walls.
Yeah,
Maybe to blow the walls.
explosive action.
Oh, crap, I've heard about a couple of those explosions on the docks. Those suckers really blow.
Mm-hmm.
Could do a lot of damage.
I saw on
She's
the
got a bunch of them.
Could get us
Say.
out.
out in the
He
patio.
says cold.
Saw a couple key points we could put them.
I'm thinking we need to get on that cart detail.
Well, I'm not much for all this advanced thinking stuff, but you need me to throw a punch at one of someone? I'm your man.
You follow us, I'll tell you who to punch.
I'm thinking he's cart duty. She tells him where to go, he's going to look the least suspicious. Because he's not going to know what he's doing.
Can't be suspicious. Can't be suspicious if you don't know you're suspicious.
I genuinely think I was just insulted, but
In a good way.
Right. Everything is positive.
Yeah.
I think we found a way out.
We found a chance.
Sleep well. By the way, I've
think-
taken 10 days trying to figure this out, and I think we sleep, instead of butts to butts, I think we sleep head to toe. Back, forth, back.
right.
I think that's going to be better than the way we've been doing it. Tired of getting spooned.
Yeah. Tired of getting spooned.
Where's Marvin Gaye?
Yeah. I think, at the least, found us another way to get a little rebellion in.
Yep. Lots of things to consider. It's pretty, as far as you know, I've seen though, it's like things have been running on a really tight ship around here. Especially when you saw those 50 guards up around there.
I can take them.
New truth. Forged in jail.
Jailbird.
All I need is a glass bottle, a little bit of cloth. We got this.
Okay. Well, night, gentlemen.
I mean, I technically have grim prospects, so none of what I just said is supposed to really be a thing. But you know what? Go team.
World's
You
looking
say
up.
that, but then at the end you say, it's not going to work, though, but that's what I would do.
I'm sorry.
Eventually, as you guys settle in for the night, you all go to sleep except for you, Agnes. Angus.
Agnes.
Agnes.
I'm changing my opinion. I think we're going to be spooning again.
Angus.
I'm insulted.
Angus, you're still having that hard time sleeping. It's not just because of how uncomfortable it is, but just, how the weight just seems to be getting at you.
The walls.
Why did
The rain.
Why did it have to be raining tonight, man?
And it is raining tonight. It's getting cold. As the rain's going down, and it's come down to a drizzle, at least it's not as hard. But
Sadly, I hate the rain.
The
eventually,
chupacabras.
you hear a voice whispering. Angus. 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 You look up eventually, because that's where you realize the whispers are coming from. And you see a pair of glowing red eyes staring down
Again.
from the hole 60 meters up. And despite the fact that it's whispering, the fact you can still hear it clearly as it waves down, but it doesn't disturb them. Only you are hearing this right now as it whispers to you. Well, at least as you haven't tried waking them up yet. But
They didn't believe it was a demon before, so they're clearly against me.
yeah. Angus, have you ever considered what it would be like to be a rat? To have fur so sleek, to be able to slip between bars, through holes, even in your cells like those vents. Be able to navigate your way around, just be unseen by everyone. Be seen as the vermin that they already see you as. Have you ever considered thoughts like this?
I mean, no. I mostly just reach out and punch face. Not a big fan of this whole cloak and deck. I'm talking to a pair of red glowing eyes in the ceiling.
Not the ceiling,
Well,
just up.
I'm having a debate with the red glowing eyes in the sky. The sky. And now I'm talking to myself. This place really has broken me.
No, not yet. I think you'll find that as you and your companions have said, there's an opportunity to come around. Clarissa's plan, you've got the pieces of it together. Crawling, creeping around, getting the guts of whales gathered together. Yes, little rats picking at little bits of flesh for that little bonus. An opportunity's coming for you, Angus. I think when that time comes, you'll find it very enticing, and that you'll be quite the linchpin in tearing these walls down.
Cool. I don't know. I still think I'm sleeping right now, dude, to be perfectly honest. It's nice to have someone to talk to, but, yeah. Sorry. You got a name?
I'm an outsider, just like you. We'll talk another night. Good night, Agnes.
Good night.
The wall eyes disappear.
We started head to toe, but for some reason we're spooning.
I'm losing my mind.
I'm sleep spooning.
I mean, I've had worse situations. Whatever.
Afterwards,
This isn't comfortable, but it's time to
you
sleep.
finally find a chance to sleep. The next morning, at the exercise yard, a lot of the inmates are,
I had the weirdest dream.
Okay, we're in.
You guys were still sleeping, and I think I was dreaming, but those two red eyes we saw on the ship
I do.
up in the sky, our little skylight that we got, started talking to me.
Well, that rules out malnourishment.
Right.
Talk.
And when you say talking, the eyes were talking, or the sound came from the eyes?
The sound came from the eyes. I don't know. It was whispered. It was really weird.
Gotcha.
But it started talking about how... It asked if I ever thought about being a rat, which...
That could be an interesting career choice.
But I don't know. It's talking about an opportunity was coming, which, I mean, I don't see a whole lot of opportunity here. But given that I don't see a whole lot of opportunity, I'm gonna take anything I can get. I think today is gonna be a good day, and I'm gonna hold
like
that
that
opinion until something horrible happens.
Yeah, I was looking.
It's still gonna be a good day.
That's good. Coming over to my side.
Hey! Hey!
Oh, there it is.
And there's a moment. There's a number of some of the inmates are circled around. Some of the newer ones, some of the ones that have been here, but they've all been sort of been sitting in a circle talking with each other. But there's some of them's looking over at you guys and it's like, I think remember you in the Alba dockyard. That's you, right? That's you three. You were part of the Alba dockyard nearby your bar. Your bar. And it was shoot, what was the name of the fucking bastard who got burned up in it, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I still enjoy that moment. This place might suck, but I do enjoy that memory.
Yeah. Go, you know what? Come on, we're sharing old war stories with each other. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves? What parts of the war did you get into?
Now with the
character
generation, all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah, I'll
this
get
is
very somber look on my face. I'm not going to talk about that one yet.
No.
It says, I'll say, well, did you ever hear about the 2 Street carriage bombing?
The 2 Street carriage bombing. Yeah, the 2 Street carriage bombing. Wait, that was you, was it?
That was. I'll look around.
Oh,
Yep,
shoot.
that was.
How'd you make that happen, man? How'd you do that?
I'll say, well, really, it's all about working fuse and shifting around metal and spreading out the explosion, creating the right, carefully placing the shrapnel in just the right place.
I will periodically look up regards.
Yeah, you do it just right, you can make a lot happen. And I'll say those 2 convoy carriages, it was good to see them go. One less supply drop to kill the cause.
Amen to that.
No, to you too.
Come on, you better tell us some stories, guys.
Go ahead, Angus. Everyone wants to know about a flaming bar.
well, That dumb little aristocrat sure got his panties in a twist when I named it after him.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there. Another one of my buddies comes to me one night. Says the guy's gonna be coming down the next night with a bunch of guards gonna shut me down. And of course, they've been slapping me with all sorts of their little indignations. They threw a couple policies at my bar, trying to shut me down normally, and I was able to weasel my way out of them all. And then, of course, I hear they're coming, and you know what? I decided I was tired of dealing with all their nonsense, so set a little plan. All it took was I dumped a little bit of alcohol on the inside, a little bit of alcohol on the outside. Got the bell rigged up when they first came in. I knew it was them because I could hear the stupid clinging their boots as they were coming in. Of course, I get a shot at the aristocrat too through the window. Of course, I'm sitting outside in the alley with my buddies here, and then sitting there, got one bottle of the good stuff in one hand, bottle of the flammable stuff in the other, and sit there for a minute. Just let them get to the back of the bar, know they're looking for me, and of course, sit there, light a match, and whoop. Got enough alcohol dumped on the outside, thing went up like a pile of hay in the middle of summer.
Yeah, and there's some cheers about that one. Like, amen to that. Amen to that. You friend.
Well, now, I wonder if any of you remember Commander Aldous Reach.
This is
Aldous.
Because if you don't, it's going to be a very boring story. But I'm guessing if you're from eastern part of town, you know Aldous. His thumb on everything, his boot on everything, his taxman on everything. I dealt with that. I spent many a time, many a day, a lot of coin, making certain that I knew the way in. Second story one night, window was left open. Shimmied up the pipe. Opened the window. Climbed in. Ended up in his daughter's room. I swear nothing happened. Got out of there quick. Moved my way down the fine fur carpet. Down to the ornate door at the end of the hallway. I'd spend my time, knew that's where he slept. Opened the door. Wouldn't you know it, it was just his wife. Again, nothing happened. Took my time getting downstairs. Aldous hadn't gone to bed yet. He was downstairs looking over some kind of plans. Had I had more foresight, I might have actually read what those plans were, but I didn't. Quietly came up behind him, put one hand under his throat, the other hand drew a knife across it, dropped him and ran. My mistake was not being certain what was out front. Probably should have gone back through the daughter's room. And then I should have done something more. Right out the front door, ended me right in the hands of his guard. But Aldous, he's not on this earth anymore. I'm certain of that.
Amen to that.
Did good work. Good work.
Amen to that.
That's 2020, you know.
Yep. So, I'm going to have you guys do a talk boldly.
I talk. Yes.
Unless I have a focus, I have no successes.
Yeah, I got one.
I kind of want to spend something on this.
Do it. Do it. Pull one. At least do a third. At least throw 3 dice. Wow, I can't speak.
Yep.
So I get an additional dice now?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, well. That's a success.
Thank God you threw 1.
So,
I'm sorry.
and you...
I'm the only one that didn't get one.
Okay. You guys got there. And most of them seem to respect the story, at the very least. They seem to have enjoyed stuff like that. Sadly, you were one away from getting a reward. But anyway, but still, at the same time, it's still some note.
We did good role playing. Gosh darn it.
And that's reward in and of itself.
Oh, by the way, how does
Before, as you guys are getting there, as there seems to be getting close to there, Clarissa actually flags the three of you down for a moment.
The three of us separately?
No, all three of you at the same time.
But I'm sorry, separated from the other group.
Yeah, separate from
Yes.
the other group.
Okay.
She goes, all right. I do know who you are. And I think you've at least been picking up a few things. You covered for me.
I'm glad you noticed.
He can be trusted?
You can be, yeah.
She says as he points to
I was like,
Sorry,
He
I
can
forget. It's a little hard to remember that, you have to just dictate who they're pointing to. So
he can be trusted.
thanks?
all right. All right.
We're bound in toes.
Especially with what you did at the
That's
hospital.
true.
And if you can vouch for these two, then you're in.
Bound in toes.
So here's the plan.
Forged in.
Forged in toes. Sorry, Michael. Forged.
I'm changing it.
Can you trust him? We all look over, see Jimmy hobbling.
Yeah, we could be trusted.
We can be trusted. Yeah,
that's
we're good.
us.
You're good. He's good. He's all right.
Okay, poor Jimmy. Anyway.
Hey guys, I think one's growing back. Oh no.
Renewable food source.
Yep,
No,
that's
no,
just the
it's
fungus.
infected.
So,
I kind of feel bad for Jimmy now. Tasted fine, but
all right. So the plan's pretty simple. We need to get access to the cold room, where the bladders are stored under a safe, located a couple meters away from the cell. We have to place them inside the carcass of a new whale, one of the new ones they're going to bring in the following day. We're going to blow it up during the inspection on the following day. There's only one thing I need in order to get in there. It's a key. A very specific key. It goes specifically to the cold storage room.
Who has this key?
She doesn't indicate him. It's like there's a guard. Usually does his watch during the night. In one of the towers, he sort of gives a sort of like tilted her head towards the one of the tower areas that are up there. Yep. We have a lot of there's a lot of bladders that have been stored up. All that compressed gas, and slip it into the body of the specimen lined up for processing, make it explode during the inspection. As a matter of fact, I think the bladders are quite close to your cell. You've probably seen the green metal door already.
Yep, I have.
Yep, you all have actually. Look, if you can get me the keys in the next 3 days, we can make a run for it.
May I ask a question?
Hmm?
I'm confused at how setting off the whale in the middle of inspection rather than the bladders in a room that could take out the wall. What is your planning?
She sort of gives a smile and goes, "We're not just putting one bladder in there." And have you ever seen what one bladder can do?
I've heard.
Think about what 15 could do.
I'll raise an eyebrow to that.
Yes, but wouldn't that end up killing us? Inspection has us there. Or are you talking when that gentleman went inside?
You went inside.
That's not going to take out 60 guards.
Cause enough confusion. Collapse the ground beneath it.
Are there tunnels under this place?
Well, I hope you're at least prepared to duck, because as far as I can tell, because based on where they're going to be putting that, part of the wall is going to actually going to crash. I'm sorry, I'm going over. I'm looking ahead of the adventure here just to make sure I got
Bless you.
the.
You're asking too many questions.
If anything, it's going to be enough to take out the guards. And because most of them are probably going to be mostly watching that whale and going to be caught up in that explosion, that gives us the opportunity to actually get to the main stairwells. Be able to make our way out of there. We can pick up the keys from whatever remains of the guards. We can use it to get our way, break our way out of here. Of course, we'll be prepared because we know what's about to happen. So hopefully, you know when to duck.
So just so I have the plan completely, once we have access to the cold storage room, and the bladders have been placed inside Leviathan that's coming in, and we have all stepped back for inspection, as the gentleman walks inside the carcass, you're thinking it's going to take out all the guards.
Depends how much you put in.
And not us.
Like I said, hopefully you know when to duck.
Okay. And how are we going to set off the bladders?
Well, that's
Is that where he comes in?
Well, partially where he comes in. Also, you got to be very careful with handling these things. Even when you saw them on the cart, you saw how careful they were handling them. You just jostle them wrong, they'll blow. So on top of the fact, if anyone's going to be putting these things into the whale, it's going to be, well, let's just put it this way. It's going to be a very delicate process just putting them into that damn thing.
So the older man that was taking the bladders down, you know his nickname's Shaky, right?
Has steadiest hand in the place.
Very good. Apparently it's a joke.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, Two Toes Jimmy.
Jimmy, get the hell out of here.
All right. So you get me that key in the next 3 days. We'll get these people. We'll get what crew that we have here to move those bladders during the night. Get them in there.
What was that?
It's Dropbox. We'll have to turn.
Why the hell do I even have Dropbox on there?
It's something that's preloaded.
Okay.
I'll
We'll
have
have to
to-
get rid of that.
I'll have to go through and scour because they always
That
come
shit's
preloaded with stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, just make sure you don't talk to anyone about this. Okay.
No. No one needs to know but us.
That the buzz happens and it's time for carving of whales. And for the next day or so, carving whales. During this time, as you're carving the whales and stuff, I'm gonna have you all do a study swiftly. Feel free to use momentum or add chaos.
Would wilderness focus matter at all? One success.
Can I use a momentum, please?
You want to use what?
A momentum.
Yes, you can.
I keep forgetting you gotta do it first.
Yep. And
I've got a success.
you got a success.
Study swiftly. Oh, one off. All right, I got one success.
Okay, and
One success.
so
Oh,
and
wait,
you got
study swiftly. Is this anything that natural? Oh wait, no, it's not. Never mind. Sorry.
as you're looking around as you're getting there, you're beginning to get an idea. It's like, and especially with you already keeping like an idea of the routines and stuff like that, it helps you out. You come to maybe like some of you are off by a number or two, but you come to a solid idea that there's about 70 guards in total.
Okay, I was off by 10 earlier.
That night, you're all starting to go to sleep again. You finally get to sleep.
I'm going to watch that
Well,
guard
yeah, aren't we
until I
supposed to be looking
can't,
for this guard?
until it's dark enough that I can't see him anymore.
Well, you know, they're watching the guard. Okay, so I'll just say you're the one that's awake. What's your character's
You
name
guys
again?
go to bed. I got this.
What's your character's name again?
Mine, Desmond.
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 Desmond. Desmond. Desmond. Desmond.
Okay, I'm looking around. Oh, when the echoing thing starts, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And eventually look up and it's the red eyes.
Uh-huh.
You think it's a normal thing? Oh, I was expecting you.
Well, you said he was coming. I saw him.
I didn't say he was coming. I said he was there.
Uh-huh. It's your dime.
No, sorry. I'm getting into the voice. Sorry.
Gotcha.
The ominous voice.
Now, did you really not do anything in the daughter's room or the wife's room?
Who's asking?
Just an outsider, like you.
I am. The wife's room, I can tell you that is a truth. Next question.
You know, it's interesting.
I do want to remind you the daughter was over 18.
You know, that didn't always matter back in the day.
You're right.
Back in the day, they'd take young children off to stone altars.
You're right.
Young men
Wait, no,
onto
what?
stone altars, tying them down, lashing them down with whale intestines on an altar of carved whale bones. Taking a knife, plunging it down into them in the hopes that they would be able to find power.
Okay, wait. Let's circle back to the daughter. I'm willing to tell you the story. What? What are we talking about here?
Genuine.
Give me 1 sec. Hey, babe.
Hi, egg with peeps?
Yes.
Okay, we'll take 5 for a moment here. Not where he thought this conversation was going to go. Now, was it? I don't think it's where anyone was going with that conversation. They're like, "Whoa!"
Okay, weird red eyes. Now this has gotten weird. It was perfectly normal before.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, weird red eyes." Well, I was expecting. Wait, what?
I may kill people, but that's too much. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, back to
So you were telling me, I'm assuming, about some kind of sacrifice.
No, I was just saying that, as you mentioned, 18, age doesn't really matter about such things. They find a sacrifice at any age, as long as it fits their purposes for what they want to do.
Now, historically, that is not part of our culture, right? So I'm assuming he's talking about his, or is that our history?
It's probably something we wouldn't know about in the modern age.
Okay, so we don't know about it at all.
Not necessarily. Go ahead and do a study.
Yep.
Let's go cleverly.
No successes.
Okay. You have no freaking idea what this is.
All right.
This is. I mean, and you know, at first you're like, "Oh, the red eyes." I was expecting this. This conversation's turning in place.
This got weird quickly. Well, go on.
Sorry. Tell me, when you look at Angus, do you see a rat?
Angus,
sorry.
You
see
mean
a rat?
Angus?
it's just like latest.
I mean,
Angus.
look at him with his hair. Wouldn't that be nice fur? Wouldn't it be nice to just see him be able to slip through the vents?
It would be nice to see him slip through the vents.
You need a key, don't you?
We need a key.
Yes.
Might about to be a rat.
One can hope.
So
Yes.
this is something that you can do for Angus? Make him a rat to get the key?
Well, you know what they say these days.
No, I've actually been in jail for the last 11 days. So.
Well, let's just say I'm willing to pull a favor. Just a small little gift for some interesting opportunities from one outsider to another. And with that, the eyes go away.
Okay, I kind of that was an unfulfilling conversation, but all right. So I will endeavor to now crash.
Yeah. So the next day comes around.
So at some point when I get Norton aside from Angus, not that I'm making it obvious, I just
To the side of the cell.
our side of the cell, Angus. But the point when I can get
6 foot cell, guys.
can still hear you.
Cover your ears.
So anyway, I'm gonna pull him aside just for a few moments. Norton, last night I was visited by the Red Eyes. I guess I would call it that. And he was saying some weird stuff. He was talking about Angus being a rat and being able to slip through the bars. And he asked if I needed a key. We needed a key. And I told him, yes, we need a key. And he said something I took to mean he would be willing to help us with that. But I'm not certain if he was talking about the help being Angus turning into a rat to do that, or Angus turning into a rat to do that and never changing back. I'm uncertain. I think tonight I'll take the late watch again.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna look around. Any help at this point to get the job done.
I agree definitely.
And even if he's turned into a rat, we'll take care of him.
You know, it's the worst. It's gonna
Yeah.
Well, I know the worst thing's going to happen, as long as he's plump. So at that point, I will allow us to meander our way over towards Angus, and then when I have the two of them there, I'm going to scuttle like a rat over to him.
Shuffle over.
I will say so. Last night, the eyes visited me.
Oh, joy. I bet he was a wonderful piece of conversation.
It was a little bit odd. He was talking to me about sacrifices and entrails being wrapped around women, and somehow it came out of the fact that he wanted to know more about my conversation earlier about the assault on Risha's house and the daughter.
So both of you, with the mention of sacrifices of women and rails, old trails and stuff like that, go ahead and roll me a study. What was it? The study cleverly. Thank you.
You disgust me.
Hopefully, no, you, not me. You get to roll.
Oh, I get to roll?
Yeah, because I failed. I don't know that history.
Oof. No, I don't know nothing.
I have a single success.
You have a single success, which is interesting, given the fact. Perhaps it's these Grimm's thoughts in you as you're thinking about it.
I mean, we could sacrifice Jimmy.
I heard that. I
don't think I'm a woman
since
yet.
I just remembered the Grimm prospects here. I'm going to add one to the momentum since I've reduced that difficulty to 0 for you. Anyway, as you think about it, you're like, wait a minute. And you think about... You remember there was a... In your bar a few years ago, there was a group of strange individuals that had come through. They had never seen them before. They seemed to be on the run. They definitely didn't seem like they were part of the war. But they had... One of them you saw had this bone charm carved with a mark on it. And you remember stories, yes, that one.
It's kind of like a bird.
But as you remember, it's more than that. You remember the stories about how there are powers outside just this world, not beyond like the science, connected to the whale bones. A entity that one could potentially reach out to, or it reaches out to those that interest it. You can't remember, but you do remember what it was called. And in that moment, it clicks, because the entity is known as the Outsider.
Do you mention that to us?
That's why it called itself an outsider.
Oh,
It is the outsider.
that's interesting. He mentioned that to me too. Talked to us about both being outsiders. I had forgotten that.
I don't know a whole lot about it. There were some guys who came through my bar a couple years ago. They had some real like tribal looking ornaments, I guess you could say. One of them had this strange symbol, and they mentioned it. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but mostly just kind of try to keep away from that kind of stuff. But I mean, I've seen some things this last couple of days that are just absolutely throwing me for a loop, and at this point, those walls are still looking pretty high, and I ain't got.
Not getting any shorter.
I don't got the slightest clue how we're gonna get that key.
I might. I'll keep working on my plan. I'll take watch tonight.
Alright, I mean, if you got a plan, I'm all in, man.
I appreciate that.
Your willingness to help us greatly improves the success of our plan. It's good to know that you would do anything to help.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Anything.
You guys have stood by me this whole time. I mean, there's no way you guys would ever betray me. I mean,
Nope.
None
Betrayal?
whatsoever.
No.
Nope.
Betrayal is not in our vocabulary.
No, it's not. No scurrying out of this one.
Yep, you're right.
Scurrying? Did you say scurrying?
I couldn't skitter away from it either. And I haven't heard a single squeak about betrayal.
Single squeak.
There's a joke going on here. I don't like it.
That night.
Well, let's just do our job and...
Go
You
on.
do take the time, and you do manage to figure out, like, okay, this is where, like, you keep your eyes on the prize, as it were. It's got like that guard. Still not sure how you're gonna get it. Everything's so tightly wound. There's no way out of the cell.
Do we think the key... Yeah, that was my next question. Do we think that the key is going to get us out of our cell, or the key is just for the green door?
Well, the key is probably attached to a set of other keys. As you manage to see, okay, that's the key that you manage to see the guard who has the key. That it's attached to a bunch of other keys, which has like keys to the cells and stuff like that. Exactly. So you're thinking, okay, if we can get one key, we can get all the keys. So the night comes. You're all still awake as you're figuring out what to do. Then above all of you, as you're sitting there, Angus.
Oh, that's right.
And all of you hear the voice, and you look up, and there's the red eyes staring down.
The fellow outsider.
So we were talking. Can we address you as the outsider?
Of course you can.
Very good.
Now,
Pleased to officially make your acquaintance.
Angus, I have a very important question for you.
Shoot.
No, don't say that.
Would you like to be turned into a rat?
I mean, no, not particularly. That's...
What?
Well, an opportunity is being presented for you.
Squeak if you understand.
Sure, why not?
All right. And with that, the eyes blink. They disappear. You guys see a shape falling. And landing splat in between all of you is a dead rat.
Okay.
And then you start to, like, you're like, I don't know. And you start to, like, fade.
Okay, so it's not a you are what you eat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. I mean, I've eaten rat, but...
And when you open your eyes, well, he just seems to, like, almost shimmer, fade, and he almost, like, turns almost into, like, energy and goes into the rat.
Okay.
When you open your eyes, you are a rat. And you're there on there, you're like Again, there, whiskers. The smells. You can smell. Everything smells more intense and yet more enticing. And
headache.
the whiskers.
How do rats live like this?
There's nothing but squeaks coming from your mouth at this point.
Hey!
And stuff.
Hey!
As you're standing up on there, tearing around. It's weird. All these tactile sensations and
Rat ants. Okay.
creepy little rat hands and your teeth
What?
in there.
I want
and
cheese. Cheese sounds great right now.
it does. Right now. And it's right
Actually,
now.
much of anything.
I can spread diseases.
I guess I scurry through the bars.
Yep. And you do know that
The key,
there's
Angus, the key.
I know about the freaking key.
I squeak.
yeah. So eventually you start going, and you know exactly where the guard with the keys to the green room is, and you can get over there. And normally, as a human being, you wouldn't be able to get in there without the key yourself to get
I
through.
think if I can fit my nose through this hole.
Yep.
That's
And
right.
there's actually a ventilation shaft that you can manage.
That
to.
would have been much easier.
Yep. So using your
Tiny rat.
climbing up, squeeze through the ventilation tube.
Ow.
Okay, that was uncomfortable.
Okay.
Flat rat.
So at this point, I'm going to remind you guys about void points. Remember, you can use momentum and or void points to create truths or change truths or introduce new truths to scenes. Things that might be able to help to your advantage, depending on. So you get through the ventilation tube, getting into the room where the guard with the particular keys you are looking for is. So you're looking down there, and you see the guard, and he's got a letter. He's sitting there writing a letter. He's periodically looking up out the windows and stuff like that down into the yard just in case. But he's writing a letter. And there on the desk next to him are the keys. He's very much awake. Still writing his letter. And right now, you're a rat.
Alright. So, me trying to figure out how void points work, I'm going to try to introduce a new truth.
Okay.
I mean, it's getting pretty late. I mean, he should be hitting the hay soon.
Mhm.
I mean,
So, you're thinking he might fall asleep here?
yeah.
Okay.
At least I think that's how this
Yep.
works.
Yep,
I don't
yep,
know.
Yep.
Does he look like he's like a higher up guard? Is he a lackey?
He's got keys.
He's got keys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's at least a janitor.
Well, I mean, this job can't be easy, even the stress of it,
I think I know where
Maybe.
you're going.
He's probably having to calm his nerves a bit. Maybe tonight he's riding home or something, and it was a little bit of an extra stressful night. Maybe he had a little bit too much to drink.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's already mentioning the sleep and stuff.
Oh, did
like
you already
that.
sleep?
Yeah, save your
Yeah,
void point for
that's
something
oh,
else. Like the ability to leap
he's-
There's
fire.
no sure,
Or,
and it is true. In the letter, he's been rubbing his eyes
Story.
periodically. There, sort of looks out for a moment, stretches, and seems to settle in. And this seems to be like a position he takes quite often, especially this late at night. Going into catnap sort of territory.
Fat bastard.
Down you go. Alright. But the problem now is when you get down there, as you're looking from your part of the ventilation shaft, how do you get the keys? Because, I mean, you can try and climb up, but you're only a rat, and it's a pretty heavy thing for a rat. But you do have, like, some truth is in the back of your head. You do know this for a fact, that you can change back anytime you want. But
So how heavy are these keys? Can I not just stick it in my mouth and...
there's too many keys on there for a rat to carry. And they're also still up on the desk. So
Oh, I'm a rat. Can I not just climb up a desk?
yeah,
Is
you can
that-
definitely climb
Okay.
up the desk. So, just to see how long it takes you there, go ahead and do a move. How are you making this approach?
I mean,
You're doing this quickly. Are you trying to be quiet as a rat? trying to do this very cleverly, or are you trying to be very careful and trying to get out?
thing
Careful, because all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, a rat. Did this guy have a cat or anything like that? Is there...
Look at your numbers. Are you sure you want to go carefully?
I mean, my only option is either boldly or forcefully, which I don't think a rat can even do.
Forcefully. Why not?
Yeah.
You pull yourself up the side of the... Think about it.
Just leap from the fucking
Yep.
ventilation.
Oh, yeah.
All right, sure.
Bats have wings. Rats are a lot like bats without wings.
So yeah, I guess move forcefully.
Okay.
Logic.
Just go for it.
Ah!
Well, that's one.
One success. Okay.
It's not gonna be pretty, but
Nope. It's not going to be pretty, but you get on there. Now, I'm going to have to do a roll here.
Uh-oh.
Because you were a little loud.
uh-oh.
Well, you only got one success. And it was... And it was a moment of tension there. You're like, oh, shit.
Don't move a muscle. I am a rat. I don't talk. And nobody understands me.
And he goes back, and he almost seemed to almost blink for a moment, but he goes...
So, do I know the... Wait a minute, no, there's guards all over the place. There's no way I'm just going to be able to turn into a human and walk back. Do
Why
I...
do we want in the green door?
Because that's where the bladders...
Got it. Okay.
So as a rat, can I just work the key that goes to the green door off the...
Nope. You need more than that. Remember, you need the key to the cell, too, or else you can't get us out. Because you can't get us out or you
We're
into
not
the
supposed
cell.
to get us ourselves out.
Well,
Yeah, we need to get out so we can get to the green door.
Right. So the idea, at least as far as I
that's
understood
right.
it,
Yeah.
the plan as far as
it's
I
going to
understood
take
it
more
was
than just one person to
get the
do
two
this
keys.
operation.
We need the green door key and the cell key. We get out of the cell, the three of us go, we grab the bladders, we take them over to the Leviathan that's going to get loaded into the...
All right. Can I work both keys off their ring as a rat?
Might be a little difficult. I'm going to go with...
It's a good thing rats have opposable thumbs. to know
Let's
that
see
shit.
here. That would be a tinker. You have to do things with your little rat hands. And I'm going to go with cleverly because you're going to have to be going with that.
Alright.
And I'm
Do
going
it.
to add to the difficulty. And you're getting another dice. So you're going to need to get 3 successes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You want to always add more chaos if you want more dice.
So he's got 1 die. Would it cost him 2 chaos for the second die, or would it cost him 1 chaos?
1 chaos for the next
For the next
second die.
So,
Oh, and
so
3 if you want 2 more dice.
right. So you would actually have 6 dice then. 3 points from chaos.
No, you can
1
only have 5. You can only have 5 max of 5 dice.
Oh, there you go. Well, all right. So he has 1 from our momentum.
Yep. So he
There's
can
only
get
3.
1.
So if he spends 1 chaos to do 1 more,
He had 4 dice.
Oh, right. And then it would cost you 2 more to have 5. I would say add the 3 chaos and roll 5 dice.
That's cool with you guys.
It is.
All right, 5 dice. I'm looking for 3 successes.
And you can always spend a void point to make one of those a 1.
Yep.
So you can make that a 2 success.
Well, I've
thing.
got an extra
But you can
void
do
point,
that
so I'm
after.
probably
right?
going to be
Void
doing
can be done after.
Yep.
All right, well, let's see what the 5 rolls get me.
1 success.
Oof.
Well,
Want to spend that void point?
yep, there
3
goes the void
successes
point. 3
exactly.
successes.
So you managed to get those 2 keys.
He's like...
As a rat.
This is the greatest plan.
Nothing could go wrong.
All right.
I mean,
So now you have those. Off you go. As you climb up and make your way back to the cell.
Hey, morons!
Squeak squeakers.
Oh, you came out as a rat? Okay, very good. So he's like squeak, 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 squeak.
I'll
He's got
reach
the keys.
down and grab him. The keys, not you.
Don't pick me up. Don't patronize me.
So you have the key to your own cell, and you have the. So.
Where are we in the guard shift? Do we think they're
We
gonna
have
come
30
by
minutes.
soon?
Yeah.
We can set it up so we have 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, well, we need him to be back to normal before the guard. Well, if a guard walks by, they're gonna check everything.
Right.
Yeah.
If they don't see you in there,
There's gonna be a lot of timing to this,
Yes.
and as far as you know, you only have one night to make this work.
Right. So the idea is we're going to have to see how long it takes us. So we're going to wait for the guards to come on this 30-minute shift. As soon as they go, the three of us are going to unlock the cage, go to the green door, unlock the green door, go inside. I'll do my best for counting. And we got to see how long it takes us to get the bladders over there. Can we take one? Can we take two? Can we take three? Can we take more? That's what we got to figure out.
All right, and you're gonna find out soon. So, I'm
right.
gonna need you all to make a move carefully.
Okay.
And you as a rat, you're gonna have a reduced difficulty, so you're only gonna have. Actually, it's a difficulty 0 for you,
So wait. Is
unless you're changing back.
He's going to have
I
to
don't-
change back because we're going to wait for the guards.
Well,
All
all
right.
right.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
go
That's
ahead.
your guys. It's up to you guys. My thought is, if we're not going to be in contact with the guards, I don't think I should change back.
wait, no, he's smaller than us, right?
Yeah.
What's to say me and you can't huddle in the corner as if we're all just clumped
Sure.
together?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The big spoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
Cool.
it.
So we're gonna perform the
So yeah,
maneuver
stay
the
as a
big
rat.
spoon.
So once they've gone by, let's
Yep.
go.
Move
And
carefully.
how many do we need? How many successes do we need?
You guys need at least one. He doesn't need any, but if
But
you
you're going to roll
you
for
could-
momentum.
Yep, you could possibly get momentum.
Let me see
I have none.
here.
You guys are so loud. Trey, don't speak English.
Or Latinus.
I know you're just jumping up and down.
Okay, so my question is if I do some void or some chaos points, and then I get momentum, he's not allowed to spend it, correct?
Not on this round.
Not
No.
on this round.
Okay. I'll take a void point. I want to get one extra.
Oh, you're gonna.
Or, not a void point. Sorry, I will use a chaos point to get an extra die. Ah, yeah. All right.
Two successes.
So there's 2 successes and
Four
successes.
Frickin' A, and
Yeah.
depending on how many you
Aiming for
needed,
the
we got
double one.
momentum.
You are actually gonna get 3 momentum.
Jeez, you're quieter than I am, and I'm a rat.
I turned into the rat now.
Because you're squeaking too much. So, you guys.
Angus, shut
Luckily,
up.
it's enough to cover his
Yeah.
his mistake.
Shh, I can't do anything
After
else.
you first screw up, right?
I'm like,
As you're getting to the now, this is also very important. As you open
Yes.
the door and you do it very carefully and quietly, you realize also, okay, there's that guard still sleeping in the office right there, and you're gonna have to wheel the bladders past him constantly.
Okay, so first thing, oil. We're gonna have to oil up the wheels.
Luckily, there's plenty of
Plenty
oil.
of oil around. Yeah, we are. As far as I'm concerned, we should douse them. I mean, douse the wheels.
Oh,
Douse.
As I was reaching, we should douse him as I start reaching for the chaos. You're gonna have to be very
find
careful.
a dead guard. They're just gonna...
No, the wheels. The wheels.
No, I know.
of the-
I was
yeah.
thinking of that.
Oh, all right. No, not yet. Not yet. All right. Well,
Okay.
you got the keys.
So I'll quietly unlock it.
So you guys get in. You're all your ridiculous successes. You're all getting in, and you're a rat. So you're covering him. Guard's
rat.
still sleeping. You get into the cold room.
I'm a rat bastard.
There are indeed 15 bladders here. You're-
Exactly 15.
There are 15
Great.
bladders. As you're looking at this, you're thinking about it, and you're thinking about it, especially the size and the whales and stuff. You're like, based on the explosion that we're going to need and how big those whales, we can probably only fit 10 of them. But especially with your expertise, you can see all this stuff. Now, I'm gonna have you do a study cleverly. Yes.
Focus.
With your focus on explosives.
There we
Awesome.
go.
All right, come on, 4 or lower.
You know, this whole being a rat thing is actually pretty cool.
Damn.
just need to get it.
Only one, right?
Yeah.
But one's
So,
good.
One's good.
Yeah, let's get one.
So,
Blank.
so here's where it's going to be interesting. So you're looking at this, you're like, okay. You're thinking of, and especially with your timing here, you know, with the guard route and stuff, you're going to have to go back to the cell, do this stuff and stuff, and, you know, move this out. You're going to have to do it carefully so that guard doesn't wake up and stuff like that. You're going to need about 10 bladders in this whale to make the explosive that you want. You can only make 7 trips based on what you can think of tonight.
Do we think we can put 2 bladders on
You
one
can do
cart?
you could put up to 3 bladders on one cart, but that leads to being very dangerous. And the more one bladder is dangerous enough.
Right.
You put 3 on there, it's more of a chance for a jostling happen and for an explosion. This is going to be a very dangerous process.
So, and is there only one cart?
There's only one cart.
And there's no way any of us could carry a bladder alone.
No. Not
There's
without the
no
cart.
there's no way 2 of us could carry a bladder.
If you were to try to cut the bladder, you risk the fact, unless you're like being like a freaking snail's pace and you don't accidentally adjust just the wrong way, it could explode.
Are we able to use a void point to say there's another cart in there?
You could.
I'm gonna say that they had put another cart in here.
Yeah.
So we only see the one cart, but then we kind of look around and find that there's actually another cart.
We just have to put it together.
Hey!
What do you hear?
I hear that squeaking.
I'm just standing
I
on
hear
the
that
cart.
squeaking again. We need to douse it.
Oh, yeah.
That one looks like it does have like possibly a squeaky wheel, but luckily there's plenty of oil around, and you're a good tinkerer, so
Yeah,
you could probably fix it up real fast.
I'll
You take care
work,
of that one.
Yeah, I'll work
I'm
as
taking
quickly
care of
as
this
I
one.
can to try and make
Wait
sure
for
that
it
we
to come off.
are
Jeez.
oiled.
I'm covered in
I'm gonna use one of these because I want to
Do it.
make sure I get this.
And maybe some more momentum.
Okay, there's 1, 2. You said tinker what? Cleverly.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. That's with engineering. Oh, so close to an extra one. Okay, 2 successes.
Nice.
Okay. Excellent.
So,
should bite the guard. No, Ken don't want to bite the guard.
so
Just like sitting there like,
what's your game plan? We're gonna say because you have to do that tinkering, you have to move back to your cell. You get back. I'm gonna say because you fixed the cart, that does take one of your trips, so you only have 6 trips left.
6 trips.
But you have 2 carts, and you need to put at least 10 in that whale for the explosion. So
So the first one, because we haven't taken the route yet, I want to take 1 on each.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, no, yeah. I think 1 on each. Well, yeah. Even if we did 1 on each, we can still make it. That's 5 trips. Perfect. All right. Let's. Yeah. We'll do that and attempt that.
okay. So go ahead and do a move silently.
Oh boy.
Move carefully first. And the difficulty is based on the number of bladders you have, so you have to do 1.
No, I'll save it. Oh yes. Okay. All right. Got it.
I have 1.
Okay.
1.
Both of you. So that's 2 bladders.
I guess I'm just
1,
standing
2.
watch at this point.
Yeah, you're standing guard.
It's a constant routine.
Okay.
You're gonna move carefully again. I'm gonna add 1 to each of your difficulties. So you get 2 successes on this.
Yeah.
Will you spend 1 for me, please?
Yeah.
So each of you spend 1.
Awesome. 2 successes. Oh wait. Yeah. There's nothing special about this. 2 successes.
2 successes. And what did you get, Barry?
I have 1.
And he's already spent. So kaboom, everyone dies.
Well, no, it's a move carefully. It's not a...
Yeah, well, actually, you're moving carefully to move the bladders. So
okay. So
yeah.
this
If
is
a
our
bladder
second...
if a bladder
second
explodes,
movement.
yeah, this is a very dangerous moment. So I'm trying to think if there's a way. You can always spend a void point to turn one of those into.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to spend a void point to make one of the other rolls a 1,
There you go.
giving me 3 successes,
There
therefore a
we
bit
go.
of momentum back.
Yep.
So that's our second one.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's 4.
All right, 1 each.
Yeah.
Toss them
And I'm
in
just
there
gonna
for us.
go over, all these things, and you can always.
Ty, go ahead and hit us. We're going to make
Yeah.
our 3rd run.
Yep, and I'm just going to keep the difficulty as it is for right now.
So that's 0. I mean 1.
What? 1.
I got 1 success.
2 successes there.
I have 3 successes.
Oh, yes.
Did you throw your second die?
Your third die.
Oh, that's right. No, I didn't. Ah, darn. Okay, still only 1.
Chucking?
All right. So hold on. So we've done
noise.
3. We need 3. We have
Remember?
to move at least 2 this time again.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I needed, yeah.
So we are at
Momentum.
6 and spending both. your
Yes.
momentum?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there's 1.
There's 1 and a 20. I
2.
don't know if that's going to matter, but I have 2 successes and a 20.
Okay. The 20 cancels one of those successes, so you only need
I'm
the
good.
1. You got it.
I got an extra 1, so we get
1 to the pool.
perfect.
Okay, so here's where we're at. We have 2 more goes at it, and
they
we
only
only need
need
1
2.
each.
Yeah.
My feeling is you roll with momentum, I roll to assist.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That
Alright.
way, and you only roll 1 die when you're assisting.
Right.
Perfect.
So you put 2
Alright,
on the
go
cart. You put 2 on
Yeah,
one cart.
Spend the momentum.
Okay. And that means you needed at least 2 successes.
No, we're putting 1 on the cart. We have 2 more turns, and we only need 2 more bladders.
Okay. Oh, I
That's-
see
But
what you mean.
don't we need some time to get back to the cell? So
Well,
Yes,
that's
each
that's
time.
being
This is the whole
calculated.
loop.
oh, that's
Yeah.
the okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the whole
then-
calculations thing.
All right.
And luckily, this guard has not heard you guys so far.
What is
So there's
the
1.
what is the thing if I'm helping? What am I rolling?
You roll 1d20.
No. What am I rolling?
Oh, that's right. Well, how are you
I'm
assisting?
helping.
How are you assisting?
I want to help forcefully. I want to hold that thing in place.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to do move forcefully for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have 1 success.
Okay, and I have 1 success.
That's 2.
Perfect.
There's
you
a
got that
momentum.
one moved.
Okay. So then same thing for the last one.
It's the nerves
Yeah.
increasing that difficulty.
So we now need 3. 3 successes.
You need,
So we're obviously tossing that.
well, no. You need 2 successes.
Okay.
Total.
2
Toss
successes
that.
total.
Toss that. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. So. There's 1. You got 1?
I got 1.
Okay, I didn't get. I got. So that's 2.
2. You got it. Did it. Did it. Done it. Good.
All right.
Oh my god. So we have it loaded.
And you've moved in there. Move everything back.
Yep. Set it
Close
down.
in there.
Shut the doors.
Get into your cell.
You are still a rat?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, squeak.
So what we need you to do now? I'm hoping Angus can understand us. What we need you to do now is take the 2 keys back, so nobody will even suspect.
It's only about an hour before dawn comes up. You're gonna have to make it quick. So
I
here's
got a
what
wood point, so
you have a. So let's do move swiftly.
I got 1.
Perfect. Good enough. So you get there, you drop the keys off, you get back, and
I don't know, guys. I kind of want to stay a rat.
Yes.
the problem
Good.
is eventually they're gonna notice he's not around. So
Those guys have been huddling up a lot. That's kind of gross. We should probably stop that. Hey, wait a minute. I heard somebody calling the third guy Angus.
Yeah.
All right, so you come back in and
Fine. Won't be a rat anymore.
Alright.
Just happy.
And you turn back, and
just
sitting where you were in the middle of the floor, well, where you turned back is a dead rat.
I don't know. I kind of want to bury it, guys.
oh, hold on.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
How does it smell? I mean, is it?
You aren't eating me.
Well,
burned yet?
Yeah. Now you're picky about what we eat.
Right.
Well, it's different, okay? I was that thing, okay?
Okay,
It's
we're
like-
getting really metaphysical
Yeah, this
here
is-
now, but
I literally was like inside. Wait,
all right.
wait.
So here's my problem. Where are you gonna hide it?
It's dirt ground, right? Or are we on cobblestone?
It is in reinforced concrete. He can't even scratch it with his sharp button.
I mean,
It's a
There's-
pin, but okay.
I mean, it's a prison. There's probably dead rats around.
I've been starving for 3 days. I haven't seen a single rat anywhere.
Fine.
Once in a while
You want
we
to eat it? Fine.
No, I'm not saying I want to eat it. I'm saying, how do we get rid of it?
I don't think we need to.
Time for exercise. As the guards come in, breakfast and exercise.
Do they pat us down as we go outside?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah, they haven't found your button yet. So look inside if your cheek's really cut up. But.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, I mean, what?
It's a dead rat.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah,
I'm just going to look at the guards, look at the rat, and go out.
Look at the guard, look at the rat, look at the guard, look at the rat.
They don't seem to pay much attention. Once you leave, they're like, oh, fucking rats. And they take the rat. And they basically just swing and turn, toss it out.
Okay, that was just rude.
Like, basically swinging the hammer.
Okay,
So,
that's disrespectful.
Black rat toss.
Great.
Hey.
You can pay your respects.
I'm never gonna see rats the same again. I mean,
I think that's a good thing. That's something to be happy about.
It's going to turn into Willard.
so eventually,
She's going to come over to us.
Clarissa will come over to you guys.
All she has to do is look my way, and I'm like,
Yeah. And she makes a
big
nod.
thumbs up.
She comes by and she sort of gives like a passing sort of thing. She goes, I suppose you boys know how to say duck in Molarian? Which is Comnor is how to say duck.
It's not duck.
This is, as she goes, I'll be expecting one of you to shout Comnor right before you poke one of the bladders. Or poke the whale. So.
Wait. We're poking the whale?
Well, if you are the one poking the whale, we're going to see who they pick. I've got whoever's going to poke the whale needs to shout it.
Is the one poking the whale got a chance?
Potentially. You at least know you're going to poke it and you're going to have to make it duck.
Shit, we should have saved void point.
you know what?
That's
I
what
turned
chaos
into a
is.
rat.
Jimmy.
One of you guys.
Jimmy. Hey,
By the way,
we have just the
anyone
guy.
who had stress, you can remove stress.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
We have just the two-toed son of a gun to do this job.
I think,
Hey guys, how's it going?
hey, Jimmy. So, the lady here would like to have you do something for her.
Oh, cool.
It's a very important job. No one else
Excellent.
can do it.
Just know you mean the world to us, Jimmy.
Oh, that's real special, guys. You know, I always had a sneaking suspicion you were the ones who had been nibbling on my toes at the ship. But, you know, it's really nice to know that you guys are just real upstanding folks, you know?
I can
That's
tell
right.
you this. You've become a part of us, Jimmy.
Right, Jimmy. Really helped us grow.
Oh, cool. I'm glad to be a part of help someone, you know.
And then as she looks at us, I will point at him.
You know, she's but anyway. So,
It's gonna be real awkward if he survives.
Well, hey, guys!
Oh, Jim, we didn't know that was gonna happen.
I didn't lose a toe this time, but I lost both legs and an arm.
Jimmy, this is really important. Where are those legs and arms? It's very important.
all right. So, eventually the whale comes in. And you know you have to be very careful. Clarissa basically goes with one of you to make. We're gonna make sure we extract the bladder that was already in the whale. So there's only the 10 that's in there. We're gonna have to be very careful. And they managed to do it. To get that going. And eventually the day goes on. 6 hours goes by.
I wish I was a rat.
Then the moment comes. They wheel it there to the patio. You're all there. The guards go. They point to Jimmy. And they point to you.
Okay.
To you, remind me of your character's name.
Who, me?
Yes.
Desmond.
Desmond. And they point to Desmond. Go in.
Gotcha. So when he's saying go in, that I am walking into the cut?
You're walking into the whale carcass,
Uh-huh.
and either you or Jimmy's gonna have to poke that bladder and shout Kamnar.
Oh, I thought we were doing it from the outside.
Nope.
Okay. So I'm going to walk away and look at you and say... And I will head in.
Okay.
So-
And Jimmy's there with you, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Man, it's real nice. Oh, that's a lot of blood. What on earth is going on?" And
Jimmy,
what?
And I'll start counting.
Jimmy, Kamnar. And I'm going to poke the bladder.
Yeah.
All right, and
I shout that out.
Kamnar.
Kamnar!
Okay. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to start adding chaos, and you tell me when to stop. 1,
Why are we...
2,
Uh,
3,
Nope.
4,
Nope.
5, 6.
There.
no.
Stop. Yeah.
Okay.
Go!
Wait a minute. So
Run back. Punch a guard.
you
Run-
two are able to duck. You're inside the whale. You won't be able to duck.
I'm going to try and leap out of the whale was my hope.
Gotcha. Well,
Because I said Jimmy.
Jimmy on top of you.
Jimmy is the explosion that happens rocks this place. Because I spent 1, 2, 3,
7.
4, 5, 6, 7. You take 7 stress.
That's one more than I have.
Oh.
Oh.
Because I had no idea. I don't have a void point.
Can we give void points to other people? Is that
I don't think anyone still has a void
No.
point.
I have
we-
a single void point.
Oh.
I don't know what to think. It's not okay.
Okay.
Not that kind of game. All
I
right.
thought you had more. Okay. You two take 2 less stress, so you only take 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's our. Sorry, it was our survive, right?
Yep.
I have 5 exactly. Am I dead or knocked out?
You're knocked out.
Okay.
I thought you guys had more. I thought you guys had
No.
like 6.
Yeah, no
Because
survive.
most of you had survives.
I'm the only one who has 6.
Ooh.
I have 6.
Yeah, my
Okay.
my 2 were study and tinker. My
Oh,
main
that's
ones,
right.
And survive.
So you're unconscious. Unfortunately, Desmond, possibly because of after all those conversations of sacrifice, it's blown up.
Wow, so at negative stress, you're dead? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, I didn't understand that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
can
always-
I
I can
think
double.
out to
I can
the-
double check this for.
I'm not questioning you. I just didn't. I didn't even know.
It's been a. You know, the's still some things I'm learning about this game, so let's just double check.
Does it help if I think
Yeah.
out to the outsider?
All that talk of sacrifice, you know, it's just.
Fun fact: Jimmy was the outsider.
Hey guys, guess what? I'm the source of all the void and power in this world.
Oh, Jimmy, you're alive, and you have your toes back.
Then what did I eat?
Oof. Yeah. I knew all along, and I didn't care.
You know what? I'm sure there's. Let's go to the
I'm really
index here.
Kylo Ren. Yeah. Yeah. I basically knew from when you said, hey, I'm Matt.
Space 43.
So why did we give you 7 chaos if you just killed one of our party? What's
Yeah,
the,
good
What's
good
the
question.
bonus
Well-
here?
Yeah, what's the benefit
Well,
test?
yeah.
I'm going to tell you in just a moment here once I determine whether or not you are for sure dead.
I kind of thought.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh,
You and I both stopped on 7.
that's like,
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah.
Let's see.
Had no idea what he was counting for.
I was like, either hire's bad or good. I'm gonna go with
Well,
good.
I knew higher would be in the end beneficial.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured.
like,
It's
I
like
was-
But I knew we didn't want to go to like 9 or 10 because I figured we were going to have to roll stuff to survive it.
Oh, once your stress. Oh, okay.
so they both died.
Once your stress tack is full, you are defeated, dead or subdued. Your character died, you need a new one. Otherwise, you wake up again the next scene. When taking damage, you may choose to reduce the damage to 1 at the cost of taking a new personal truth, which reflects some new injury or disadvantage you've suffered.
Oh.
So if you want... I'm going to say this is probably going to kill you, unless you want to take a new personal truth to reduce the damage to 1. And you basically are going...
Yeah.
So, what kind of interesting new personal truth reflects some permanent injury or disadvantage you've suffered because of this?
And how is it Jimmy based?
I have Jimmy burnt the outline of Jimmy burned into my back.
It's his foot. It's his missing toes.
It's just his leg with the missing toe.
I'll never forget you, Jimmy.
Your body's literally burned into my back.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. Depending on how you roll this next bit, Jimmy's dead. Yeah, that's just. But
So yeah, no, I figure I'm my back, because I knew to leap, so I'm figuring my back, maybe from the middle of my neck down, horribly burned.
okay, so you have a new personal truth of horribly burned.
Aren't you? You had 5 wounds too, right? So aren't you technically?
He's just unconscious, right?
He can choose to be unconscious, or he can reduce it down to 1 damage. It's just gonna take a new personal truth.
I'll take a new personal truth.
Okay.
Let me.
Well, 2 people are gonna be scarred. Aren't you glad you were the rat?
Rat bastard.
So I only have 1 stress. Is that what it is?
Yep.
And then personal truth it is just a physical scarring.
Yep.
It's a thing.
It's
Yes,
a
the
thing.
personal truth basically is some new hindrance, is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
What would be a good one?
You can't swear off explosives.
Yeah, I know.
That was way too fun.
See, isn't this fun? Now I'm glad I read the rules because I just killed some. Oh well, there's actually an opportunity here.
Whoops.
Can I miss, be missing a finger?
Yes.
I'll miss the pinky.
Mhm.
That work for you?
That works fine by me. You're
Miss
missing.
left
Out 3 toes.
Every time I take my
Pour one out
shoes
for
off.
Jimmy.
Never forget you, Jimmy.
Chop one for Jimmy.
All right. Let me see where.
Guys.
Personal truths. Missing left pinky finger.
Okay. Cool. All right. So as to explain what that did. One, aside from the potential damage that did to all of you.
Right.
This also, every point I just spent killed 10 of the guards.
Ah.
So we did it exactly.
We killed them all.
You killed all 70 guards.
We must have just known it. Oh
Now,
Boom.
now I'm gonna have one of you roll a d20.
Oh, wait. Before we do it, can we aid? Is just a roll?
Just a roll. It's
All right,
not, it's
all
not
right,
a
Ty,
skill or
do it.
anything. 11. So
Very middle.
11 of the inmates out of the 50 or so managed to duck and survive.
Oh.
So 11 plus us plus her
Yep.
plus
No,
her.
She's part of the 11.
So we have 14 of us to sail a ship, which of course I didn't take shit.
Jimmy?
Well,
Jimmy?
where's Jimmy?
I'm genuinely curious what happens to Jimmy. He's been
If you had rolled 20, I would have said Jimmy survived. If you had rolled 1, I would have said the only person who survived
Survive was Jimmy.
Hold on. I have a void point.
New personal truth. Jimmy is immortal.
Jimmy. I almost want you to spend that to make Jimmy survive.
Certainly would be an
Almost.
interesting story because now it's the 3 of us having to go back.
Yeah.
So, the whale's insides burst with an earth-shattering noise, leaving your ears ringing.
We're probably going to play this again.
Some of you are like the shell shock, trying to get over this.
Mop.
You instinctively open your eyes as you push yourself off the ground, only to witness the horrifying vision of viscera falling from above, with gunshots and screams echoing across the yard. what remains of the directionless crowd of inmates run. The guards, all dead.
Right? Blown off the walls, the ones that were up
Yeah,
there.
it's a sight to behold. Clarissa and the surviving inmates are like grabbing some of you and like, we gotta go. No, as they start like, getting in there as you're trying to get some out of there. You guys go down the door to the left. You kick open a metal door and you start heading down a spiral staircase to reach what seems to be a underground waterway. You see 2 boats are docked there. And there are 3 guards. And there's 14 of you. So I'm going to have you each roll an attack. Go ahead and
Fight boldly.
Can I use my metal pin in any way to aid me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. And I will give you, because you're actually using a weapon they're not expecting, I'm going to reduce that difficulty down by 1, so it's 0. You all have to at least hit 1.
Fight. How do I fight? My choice?
Your choice, how you want to fight.
Fight
You choose-
forcefully.
Fight forcefully. Go for it.
I'm gonna fight
Boldly.
cleverly, and I succeed.
Yep.
I've got one.
Yeah, I've got a
Actually, we get 1 momentum because
Yep. Yay, 1 momentum. And
slit their throat with the freaking pin.
the guard goes down. Others are like, you're helping pummel them. People are getting into the boats. And the starter cords on the engines start to be pulled on the boats. And the boats delve into the darkness of Dunwall's sewer system, disappearing from sight. You've all escaped.
All right.
And
Hey, Jimmy! Jimmy?
I'll put my hand on your shoulder.
Make it.
with that, I will go with final thoughts, as a tradition I usually do, is like final soliloquies, inner thoughts of the characters of what's happened with their encounters, and how as we sail off to this. So Pedro, we'll start with you.
I've looked on the ship, found something, whether it's gauze or what, to wrap my hand, might stop the bleeding, and I'm just. The ringing in my ears, it's a moment of joy in the sense that all those guards, all of them are dead, and like we did what was necessary, but there was a lot of lives lost, and I keep having like momentary flashbacks to the hospital because not a lot of the inmates died, and where we were at, were they mostly prisoners of the rebellion? Yeah. I'm somber for the loss of all those for the cause. But, they did what was necessary. We did what was necessary. So I'm trying to push that back, but it keeps coming back to the front. And I'm almost tightening that a little bit extra to feel that pain in a way of atonement. Also, remembering Jimmy specifically.
Desmond.
At this point, Desmond feels good. We did what we needed to do. It took a lot, but now as a core of the better, because if we weren't better, we would not have survived. I think we've got a chance to begin this rebellion a second time. And as I learned from one of the two of them, with Jimmy's foot burned into my back, I think we have a new symbol as well. 2 toes for rebellion.
Damn it.
You gotta leave him the balancers.
Right? Well, yeah, it's the thumb toe and it's the pinky toe.
Years down, like, Dad, what does that mean?
Well, son, let me tell you about it. Years ago, there was a man named Jimmy, and he gave his life for the cause, and he blew up a whale.
Angus.
Well, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the survivors and realizing I lost a lot of good friends and A lot of people I knew as patrons, and can't help but think about time I also snuck one of Jimmy's toes in my mouth and made it. Realizing I made a lot of mistakes in my life.
If it were,
At the same time, I'm glad it was Jimmy's toes and not anyone else's. He was a good man, and now he's going to be with me forever. We're going to stick it to whoever the heck it is we were fighting, because I don't actually remember who.
Don't worry, Angus. It'll wear off. It's the explosion.
Maybe the dream that you were a rat for a time.
No, that wasn't a dream. I was definitely a rat for a time. Kind of miss being a rat, to be perfectly honest.
gaslight the hell out of him. No, you weren't.
What? You were asleep in the cage the whole time. It was obnoxious.
Yeah.
You didn't help at all.
You just sat there squeaking. Like,
What are you talking about? There was a dead rat in the room. That's
yeah, you killed the rat and then said, "I'm a rat now." And while we went and did all the work.
No, I meant no. Is that what happened? Oh my
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
gosh.
What happened?
How did we even get alcohol? We were in prison.
Well, that was actually a brilliant thing on Norton's part. He was able to pickpocket the keys from the guard right before he went to bed.
No, it was fortunate.
We were trying to keep it low key, so we didn't tell you as you kept saying, "I'm going to turn into a rat. I'm going to go get the keys." We were like, "Yeah, we got the keys," but we couldn't tell you that.
He kept talking about red eyes and like that it's going to turn you into a rat. It made no sense.
But then there was the outsider. You guys heard the outsider, right?
yeah, you mentioned something about an outsider
Yeah.
too. We thought you were talking about the rat because it was from outside the cage.
Outside the cage, right?
But
How much did I drink?
yeah, I mean, it's a significant amount.
It was unbelievable.
It was, yeah.
I hope it was the good stuff.
We thought you owned a bar so you could handle it, but apparently
You couldn't.
You couldn't. And that's how you gaslight someone.
Welcome to Gaslighting 101. I know it took a while to get here, but here we are. Anyway.
Dishonored by gaslight.
That was fun, Michael.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That was really good.
We here at NCRP Productions hope you enjoyed our play of Dishonored. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to contact any of us, we can be reached at ncrpproductions@gmail.com. Good night.